guys, it's KINO. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card, well, pick a stone, pick an object, we are going to be finding out about your life purposes and who you were meant to be in this lifetime. Now, just before we get into this reading, I do want to give a little disclaimer that this reading is not going to tell you who you have to be in this lifetime or who you will inevitably become in this lifetime. We are just exploring your potential and exploring some of the ideas that your soul and your spiritual team had for you before you incarnated on this earth. But regardless of what this reading tells you, it's important to remember that at the end of the day, you have free will and your life can be whatever you choose to make it. So now that that disclaimer is out of the way, let's get into the reading. There are 4 options for you guys to choose from today. So I'm going to give you a close-up look at each of them one by one, and then please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. So for option number 1, we have this Rhodonite Moon. Option number 2, we have this raw blue lace agate. Option number 3 is this tiger's eye pyramid. And option number 4 is this crisscrossy clear quartz. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose the Rhodonite Moon, which by the way I have named Moona, this is going to be your reading all about who you're meant to be and your life purposes in this lifetime. So I'm gonna start off with a whole bunch of oracle cards. There are 8 of them today, which I'm a little bit nervous about because if you guys know, if you watch my videos regularly, first of all, thank you. And second of all, you might know that I tend to normally just read like 1 or a couple cards at a time. But for some reason, I felt really strongly that this is what Spirit wants us to do today. So I'm just gonna lay them all out at once and see what information we can get about your life purposes. So the very first card that we have is Aloe Vera with Soothe. We have Inspiring Others, and on the other side it says, I help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts. The Sun with Source. We have Peace. Expansion, Coriander. The trigger statement is, this is the way it has always been done. The true statement is, I create my way. And we have the messages of honoring self and you are ready to fulfill your desires by thinking outside the box. The path less traveled may be more fulfilling. We have Flow Like Water. And oh my gosh, are they all gonna fit? And then we have Repairing the Veil with Forgiveness. Okay, so the very first thing that I'm going to be on the lookout for is any beings in these cards. So that includes people or animals. And I'm also gonna look out for numbers as well as zodiac signs. So first of all, I'm noticing that we have a very nice spiritual team on this expansion card. I think that you guys have a very big soul family, both incarnate here on Earth right now, as well as incarnate in other places or in the soul world. But you guys are heavily protective. You have a lot of loving guidance around you. And I think that you counsel is the word that is coming to my mind. I think you counsel or consult, maybe that's the right word, consult with this spiritual team very frequently. They are communicating with you all the time, whether you are noticing that or not. I think you guys have a very special bond. Also, the image of a locket is coming to my mind, like the visual of a locket. I don't know if you guys who chose this group have one that you wear that reminds you of somebody or has a very special energy, but it's like keeping this locket around your neck will keep your spiritual team with you, or they may be encouraging you to wear a locket around your neck so that you can feel them close to your heart. I just got that visual quite strongly. This person here, I'm seeing this as you. So let's also take a look at the spirit animals we have here. We have a dove on the peace card. We have an owl on this being's head, so I'm going to include that as well. And then we also have a butterfly on the forgiveness card. So doves, owls, and butterflies might be significant spirit animals for you in this lifetime. When you see them, whether they're in images or whether they are in the flesh, that is likely a sign that you are on the right path and that you are being very closely and lovingly watched over. I think it's very interesting that all of these spirit animals are creatures that fly. This could be, I was gonna say an ode, an ode to your free spirit, an allusion to your free spirit, and that you are meant to reach great heights in this lifetime, that you are free to do whatever your heart desires, and that if you follow your heart's desires, you will find great success. So I also want to take a look at the numbers that we have here. On the sun card, we have the number 18. So looking at the digits 1 and 8 together, what this tells me is that you guys have great potential to create abundance and to create a successful career from your own initiatives, from your own ideas, from your own actions. Many of you might be self-employed in this lifetime, like you feel a really strong urge to go in that direction, or this is letting you know that you have the potential to do so. So if you needed that confirmation or if you needed that green light, I definitely see that here. That's what the numbers 1 and 8 together make me think. And there's also a really heavy emphasis that any blessings that come to you in this lifetime, any wealth, any accomplishments that come to you, you have earned them. Like that is all you. I think it's a beautiful thing to be grateful to the universe and to be grateful for your spiritual team, and they will warmly accept that gratitude, but they're also like turning it back to you and saying, but look at everything you did, look at all of this effort you put in. And they're saying, like, in this lifetime, don't ever let anybody discredit your successes. Even yourself. Don't let yourself discredit your successes either. I think maybe a big lesson for you guys in this lifetime is learning to give yourself the credit you deserve and celebrating yourself for what you have earned. I think in general, like as people, as a society, we tend to be always focusing on the next thing, like keep grinding, keep going higher and higher, keep making more and more. And your spiritual team is reminding you to like stop and celebrate your wins and say like, wow, I really did that. I'm amazing. I'm freaking proud of myself. Learn to celebrate how far you've come and like to rejoice in the fact that you can create this abundance yourself from your own will, from your own actions. I think that's very like finding that empowerment and finding that sense of independence, I think is a big thing for you in this lifetime as well. I also think that you've earned a lot of blessings from your past lives. So I definitely think with this number 18 that karma is favoring you in this lifetime. Like you've done very, very good deeds in your past during this incarnation and during previous ones as well. The next number that we have is the number 24. So again, I'm going to look at this like, you know, the digits 2 and 4 and then put them together. Right away, 2 is making me think of partnerships. 4 is making me think of stability. And when we add these up to get 6, that is the number of harmony, peace, unconditional love. So I definitely see for you in this incarnation, you're going to have some beautiful, stable, and committed partnerships. Like you are going to cultivate long-lasting friendships, long-lasting partnerships in this lifetime, in the romantic sense, in the friendship sense. And I'm even feeling like business partner or business collaborator or even clients. Like if you guys are resonating with this self-employed thing, you might develop a very, very loyal client base, like people who keep coming back to you, or a fan base if that applies to the field that you're interested in. But there's this feeling of you attracting people into your life who will really, really have a long presence, who will really have that staying power in your life. And You are meant to experience true loyalty and true devotion in your partnerships in this lifetime, and a very healthy sort of reciprocity in your partnerships. If you feel that you haven't met these people already, I want to tell you that there are a multitude of loving soulmates who are coming to you in this lifetime and who are going to help shape you into the person that you were meant to be. And then finally, we have the number 45. So the number 4, again, I'm thinking of stability, security, order. And then the number 5 is about change, growth, and development. When we put these together, we get 9, which I think of as like advancement, ascension, reaching your full potential. I think that a big lesson for you guys in this lifetime is learning to find inner peace and learning to find stability within yourself in the midst of change going on around you, in the midst of change in your outside world. There was this feeling of you guys being a free spirit and flying around to many different places. We even have this card that says flow like water. So I think that a major theme in your life could be a lot of relocation or a lot of displacement, I think is the word. Like you might move houses a lot or move schools a lot, move jobs, or even move countries. There's this feeling of you kind of flitting around, like going here and there. And a lesson for you in this lifetime is finding how to stay, oh my God, there's a little bit of spit on the card, sorry. A big lesson for you guys in this lifetime is learning how to keep that stability within yourself so that even when everything is changing around you, you still feel grounded, you still feel sturdy, you don't feel like you're going to get carried away, like fly away like a plastic bag in the winds of change, because you feel secure within yourself. Okay, so, and in terms of zodiac signs, we do have the sun here, which could be referring to Leo energy. So if you have any Leo placements in your birth chart, those could be placements that really, really want to shine through in this lifetime. If you feel called to, of course, and you do have Leo placements, I would suggest looking into them, even just like a quick Google search, because I believe like our guides are going to bring us the information that we need. So if you do feel called to look deeper into your Leo placements, it might give you a little bit more insight of what your soul is trying to become in this lifetime. If you don't have any Leo, it could be that Leos are going to be very significant people in your life, or your soul is going to really like to be around that energy, or that moving more towards the archetype of Leo energy is going to be a big theme in your life. So what is Leo energy? Well, as you may have guessed, it is like the sun. It is like a bright ray of sunshine. Leos, what I'm thinking of is like confidence, being proud of yourself, which is something that we touched on briefly earlier, and also being in the spotlight. I think that in many ways you guys are truly meant to shine. Let your talents be seen. Many of you guys might feel called to creative pursuits in this lifetime, and you are meant to be admired, and you are meant to be praised, and you are meant to be celebrated by others as well as by yourself. And I think that you're really meant to, with the word source here, like you're really meant to learn how to connect with the infinite abundant source that is the divine, that is spirit, that is source energy, and bring things forward into the world almost like a channeling, almost like you are birthing the divine into the world through your creativity. One thing that I will say for you guys is I think that you're incredibly generous. Like the sun is literally this beautiful life-giving orb that gives freely to everything and lets everything on this earth flourish. I think that you guys are incredibly generous. I think that you have this immense compassion for everybody here on earth, whether they are your close friend or somebody you have just met. Like you want to shine kindness and friendliness on everybody. And with this aloe vera card here too, I think that there is something very, very healing about you guys. Like your presence is very soothing to be around. When people are around you, they feel that everything is going to be okay. And this is just something about your aura. Something about your aura helps to lift people up and cheer people up. But what I'm really feeling called to say for you guys is that make sure that you're not like setting yourself on fire to keep other people warm. Make sure that you are not hurting yourself or being too selfless in your pursuit of inspiring others, empowering others, cheering other people up. I'm thinking of this comic, and this is the second time in my readings that I've mentioned one of Nathan Pyle's comics, I'm pretty sure. But there's one of aloe. And like aloe vera has this very soothing property on the inside, but in order to get that, you need to cut off the leaf or whatever this is called. So the comic was kind of playing on that, like when you cut the aloe, like, ow, it hurts them. But then what's inside is very soothing. And I was just reminded of that because it's like, make sure that you are not cutting yourself to soothe somebody else. Make sure that you're not hurting yourself or burning yourself out or over exerting yourself. And I want to remind you guys, when it comes to your ability to uplift people and to make people feel better, it's really just something about your aura. We also have an emphasis on the throat chakra here. These are chakra oracle cards. So this blue border is the throat chakra. It's just something about your words that brings peace to other people. So you guys, because you are so generous and so compassionate, when you see somebody who's struggling, you might really feel that urge, or I might even go so far to say you feel an obligation, like, I need to give this person the shirt off my back. I need to do something to make their burden easier. But remember that you need to have healthy boundaries, and like, at the end of the day, it is their burden to carry. At the end of the day, it is their situation to figure out. And for you guys, just sharing words with them, words of encouragement, words of support, even just being there to listen, even just being there and having your presence in the same room. Like, that is enough to cheer people up. That is enough to give people the strength to go on. If you think about the sun doesn't need to go anywhere or go out of its way to shine. It just does. And we feel the warmth. Like, the sun doesn't have to like, hey, let me come over here and help you out, Earth. And like, you know, it doesn't have to go out of its way. Maybe that was a weird analogy, but like, all you need to do is shine your authentic light. All you need to do is be yourself, and that is enough to make people feel better. You don't have to come over into their space and start carrying their burden for them or start giving them all of your stuff. Of course, if it feels good to do that, you can, but it's just this feeling of like, that is not your obligation. You never need to go without so that somebody else can have more. You never need to violate your own boundaries to help somebody else. And I think a big theme of your life is like bringing all of this loving, sunny energy back to yourself and feeling okay with celebrating yourself and not dimming your light or diminishing your accomplishments, like, because you're being so conscientious of other people. Like, you are allowed to shine, you are allowed to be proud, and people want to see your light because, like this card says, your light is very, very inspiring, and it takes zero extra energy to inspire somebody. You just need to do what you already want to do. You just need to keep following your heart's desires and keep being you, and that is gonna shine out, and that is gonna inspire somebody without any extra steps from you. I hope that that makes sense. I feel like I'm gonna leave this like this for now, but I might I might flip it over later. So moving on here to this expansion card, again with the throat chakra, you guys might be called to be like speakers or singers or broadcasters or writers, something where you are communicating and sharing ideas. I'm kind of getting a vibe of like teacher, coach, motivator, healer, counselor, something like that. Those are a few, I know those are not necessarily careers, but those are the kind of fields, I guess, that I could see you guys really thriving in, or something creative like we spoke about before, something in the performing arts. I could also see you guys being activists, like using your voice to help empower other people and to bring peace to the world. But when I look at this image, and just like keeping the throat chakra theme in mind, I'm kind of seeing this as you talking with your spiritual team before incarnating on this earth, and you're talking about what is it that you want to do in this lifetime, what do you want to experience, what do you want to accomplish, what do you want to bring to the table. And I think you may have told them something like, I just want to help the world expand. Like, I just want to help people reach expansion, which is realizing their dreams, which is realizing their full potential, which is helping people come out of their shell. Like, I just want to help this world expand. I feel like that was your wish before this incarnation. And with this flow like water, as well as the coriander card that says, I create my way, I'm not so sure that the plan you devised for this lifetime with your spiritual team was necessarily so rigid or so like specific or so particular. It was like you kind of shared with your spiritual team some rough guidelines of what you wanted to experience, but for the most part, when it comes to how you get there, it's very much left up to your free will, meaning that no matter which direction you go, you're probably not going to get much of your spiritual team trying to like knock you back. Like, oh, you said you were going to go this way in this incarnation. It's like you very much have free reign, as if you're swimming in water and you can go up, down, left, right, forward. You can go in all directions. Whereas like if you're walking on a road, you can only go forward, backward, and left and right. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, you just have more free space to move around in. And I speak about this sometimes. At the end of the day, we do all have free will, but I think that some souls before incarnating kind of like decide with their spiritual team, just let me do whatever I want, or I specifically want to do this, and if you see me starting to go a different way, please like send me signs or do something to redirect me, which is also the soul's free will ultimately. But I think that you chose with your team for things to be a little bit more free, a little bit more open. I don't necessarily feel from this group that there's like a destined career that you need to have, that you're going to be pushed towards again and again. And I actually think for you guys, it would be really nice to explore a variety of different careers and see which one you feel the best in. And that might change over time. Like I think I said earlier in the reading, you guys might change careers many times in this lifetime, and that's totally okay. I think the idea that we need to like focus on one path and follow that one till the end is kind of limiting, and it may be great for some people, but not for everybody. And just see which one you find that you feel the most you in, that you feel the most authentic in, and that you feel that your talents are really, really shining in, which again can change over time. Also, if I take this water card literally, you guys might feel really drawn to beaches or feel really drawn to live near the water. That might be something that is very calming for you. When you feel like you have taken on too much energy of other people, the water can be somewhere where you release it, whether that is just standing by the water or bathing in it, diving in it like this person. But let's talk about the coriander as well. I love that we have the message of honoring self, just given everything that we have talked about in this reading. And this is a card that is encouraging you to take the path less traveled and to kind of go off the beaten path. So when it comes to, first of all, I'm getting kind of a nomadic feeling from this group, whether that's like, changing careers a lot, like we spoke about before, or maybe moving and living in many different places, which is still not so normal. Maybe it's becoming more and more normal with like the digital age and having everything online. But in this day and age, I still feel like, it's more, what am I trying to say? The majority is more like living in one place, doing one thing, staying where you are. But I think that this taking the path less traveled could also be speaking about the nature of your career. So you guys might have a career that is a little bit unconventional or unusual, so to speak. I do think that that's totally subjective, but it could just be that kind of career. Like if you tell somebody what you're doing, they're like, oh, that's very interesting. I don't know many people who do that. It's the kind of job that probably most people don't know somebody who does it. It's a little bit unique. It's a little bit special. You guys might even do like multiple careers at once, like have a variety of projects going at once. I feel like you guys are incredibly talented with this sun energy. And if you feel like you want to expand and do a bunch of different things in this lifetime, please, please go for it. Please, like, don't feel pressured like you have to choose one, because the overwhelming message that is coming through in this reading is that you can really do it all. You can really have it all in this lifetime, and you deserve to see each and every one of your talents grow and be explored and reach their potential. So whether you want to juggle a few jobs at a time or a few projects at a time, or you want to like do a series of a bunch of different things in your lifetime, I just want to say, please don't limit yourself. Now, finally, we have this forgiveness card, which I haven't talked about yet, repairing the veil with forgiveness. So the idea of this card is that the veil is like the veil of illusion that separates us from others. And when we see beyond this veil, we remember the interconnectedness of every being on this planet, in this universe. We all come from that same source consciousness. We are all one. And where forgiveness comes in here is that once we remember our oneness and we remember this, like, I am me and you are you and we are separate, once we remember that that is an illusion of this physical earth, it's a lot easier to have compassion for people and not to judge other people so harshly when we start to see ourselves in others and when we start to see others in ourselves. I think that, like we've spoken about earlier in this reading, you guys definitely have immense compassion for other people. And I wonder if you are tying up some loose ends with some karmic partners in this lifetime. Like, if you have any difficult relationships with people in this lifetime, they might have followed you here, or you might have followed them here from a previous lifetime where things also weren't so sweet, didn't go so smoothly, but it's like you decided to incarnate together in this lifetime, sort of to talk things out and to make things right. Like, you are here for that closure, you're here to tie things up, and you're here to reconcile. So if there's anybody in this lifetime who gives you a hard time, like a really challenging relationship, I think that there's advice for you to try to see yourself in that person and try to have compassion for them. And that doesn't mean that you have to like keep them in your life, or that you have to say all of their actions towards you are okay, but just to have that feeling of like, you are an expression of me as well. You are an expression of source as well. And you were in my life to teach me something. And I thank you for teaching me this. And I'm not going to keep like feeding bitterness into this connection. I'm going to release it. I'm going to be grateful, and I'm going to move on with peace. I think that this feeling of forgiveness and being one with everybody doesn't mean that you necessarily have to engage with everybody or create space for everybody in your life, but it releases that resistance where you're like, this person is wrong, so I need to fix them, or this person is bad, so I need to hate them. You're just like, that is an expression of me that is doing something different in this lifetime, that is on their own level, and I'm over here doing my thing. And I see you, and I hope you find happiness, because that's in the best interest of me. That's in the best interest of all of us, because we are all this one consciousness just trying to understand itself. And I hope that you find peace on your journey, and then you release them, and then you can find peace within yourself. And like we spoke about with this number 24, there's going to be some beautiful, beautiful connections coming in your life if they aren't already here. And we don't want to be feeding our energy into any connections that like irritate us or that cause resistance within us. We want to go where it feels good. So in this lifetime, you're coming back to those connections that make you feel really grateful, that make you feel really comfortable and happy, and releasing any ill will or releasing any hard feelings from your past. You are meant to be free of that in this lifetime. So I think that this concludes what I see with the oracle cards. I think that that went pretty okay. maybe I'll do this kind of format again in the future. But let's move into the tarot now and get a little bit more messages about your life purpose and who you were meant to be in this lifetime. So we have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, you guys are so freaking talented, for sure. We have the Five of Wands. The Ten of Wands. And the Two of Wands. So what's kind of cool, I'm noticing that the numbers that appear here are like all numbers that already appeared in the oracle cards. So like we have the 1 and 8, which appeared on the Sun card. And then we have 5, which appeared here, and 2, which appeared here. So that's just kind of cool. We also have, no, they were this way, right? No, they were this way. We also have a lot of fire energy coming through. 3 out of these 4 cards are wands, and we did have the sun energy here. So either like Leo energy or fire energy, I think is really significant for you guys in this lifetime. And then we do have a little bit of earth here with the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles makes me think of an August Virgo, because August Virgos are born in the 8th month and they're an earth sign, which Pentacles is associated with earth. There are actual like zodiac and planetary associations with the minor arcana, but I can just never remember them. I don't know if I ever will. Maybe that should be like a 2022 resolution. But anyway, in my book, this makes me think of an August Virgo. Okay, so like I said, with this Eight of Pentacles, you guys are incredibly talented. And I really think that you guys are meant to, or you have great potential to make money and to make your living like off of your own creations, off of your own skills, rather than being employed to fulfill tasks or make things for someone else. There's a really strong emphasis on the fact that it is coming from you. And I'm hearing in my mind like jack of all trades, master of all, which I think the original expression is like master of none, but you guys are good at so many different things in so many different arenas as well. So it's not like I'm good at piano, I'm good at guitar, I'm good at the flute. Like those are all instruments, but it's like you're good at the piano and then you're also good at soccer and you're also good at cooking and you're also good at dentistry. Or like you have so many different skills in so many different areas and you can wear so many different hats. And I think a big purpose for you in this lifetime is to enjoy wearing all of the hats and to not cave to this kind of pressure of like, I need to cement my identity as one person, or I need to pick one hat to wear for the rest of my life. I need to choose one, because you can be good at all of them and you can enjoy all of them. What I will say for you guys is that there might be some talents that you have that are very much divinely gifted and that are very much part of your life purpose, but they might not come to you so quickly or so effortlessly. I think sometimes there's like a misconception that if you're meant to be something, it will just come to you really, really easily. Like if someone's meant to be, I'll just use the piano example again. If someone's meant to be a piano player in this lifetime, then they're going to be one of those child prodigies who is like playing really, really advanced pieces by the time they're 4 and wrote their own symphony by the time they were 8. Like that's kind of what we associate with, oh, it was meant to be, that was their calling, that was their life purpose. And I think your spiritual team is just giving you a heads up that, you know, it's not always the case. Like everybody's journey is different. Some people might have to work really, really hard to develop the skills that they were meant to use in this lifetime, because maybe one of the skills that they were meant to learn is also dedication, is also patience, is also perseverance and consistency. And yeah, did I already say dedication? I said words adjacent to dedication, so you guys know what I mean. And they're telling you this because they don't want you to get discouraged. Like I could even say this for like, I don't know, let's say you feel a really, really strong affinity to France and you just feel like you are meant to be there, and then you're learning French and you're just like not picking it up, and you feel discouraged. Like, I thought I was meant to live there. I thought that I would find my soul family there, but like, no matter how hard I try, I just can't pick up this freaking language. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. And they're saying like, no, that is not dangerous. That's too dramatic of a word, but maybe that's like a harmful way of thinking. And don't think that just because something is taking more time and effort that it means like you're being discouraged from doing it or it's not meant to be. Because again, everyone's journey is different. And maybe you also have this lesson within your life of, yes, oh my God, I even freaking spoke about this before, that every blessing that has come to you, you earned it. You earned it with your blood, sweat, and tears, and nobody can take that away from you. Like, nobody could say like, I don't know, nobody could say like, oh, you just got lucky, or you're just naturally good at that. Like, you were just born with that genetics to be good at that or learn that. It's like, no, I work my ass off to be good at this. I work my ass off to, I don't know how to say this, acquire these skills. I was gonna say put these skills on my body, but that's like totally not an expression. That's totally not a thing. So yeah, there might be some skills you're meant to have that I think you really love and that will really light you up, but that might take time and effort. And so they're just saying not to get discouraged. And I'm thinking of this Leo energy we've been speaking about. One kind of downside of Leo energy is that it can tend to be kind of prideful, and it can tend to kind of take things personally. So I could kind of see that energy, like if you're struggling to learn a skill, you're like, and I took that personally, and they're saying like, calm down, like, let's not get dramatic, let's just take this a day at a time. So I think learning discipline and learning work ethic will be a really big lesson for you guys as well. And it's very interesting that the Five of Wands came out next to the Eight of Pentacles, and also that it has Saturn on it. Saturn is the association with the Five of Wands, which I know because it's literally staring me in the face on this card. But in this deck, and especially in the context of what we just talked about, this card is really, really making me think of discipline, because, you know, Saturn is structured, disciplined, dedicated, organized, kind of a little bit strict. And I think this is what you need to really bring your talents to fruition. And Five of Wands is a card that talks about conflict. And I think that in the context of this reading, it's definitely talking about an inner conflict. So with all this fire energy, maybe some of you guys have Aries placements as well, but there could be a part of you that is a little bit impatient, or even just a little bit sensitive, and gets discouraged kind of easily. And I think that this Saturn energy is here to balance or to remedy that Leo energy, who kind of wants to be dramatic and take things personally and say like, this is a disaster, I'm never gonna be good at this. This helps you to get out of your emotions and just stick to the plan, stick to the emotionally detached plan, where like, okay, we tried our best today, and we're gonna keep doing this 3 days a week. Like, regardless of how we might feel, regardless of what the results might be, we're gonna stick to our schedule. Because if you stick to your schedule, it's inevitable. It's inevitable that at some point you are going to see improvement. And I also think that you guys are gonna learn to fall in love with the process. There was that message like at the very beginning of the reading that in this lifetime, a big lesson for you is moving out of that mentality of, I have to hit the next goal, I have to move on to the next best thing, and bringing yourself back to the present moment and celebrating how far you've come, and just celebrating the fact that you showed up and that you're here doing it. Because at the end of the day, that is what is really freaking impressive. I personally would be a lot more impressed by somebody who started off shit at playing the piano and was shit for a long time, but who never gave up. And regardless of how they might have felt, regardless of maybe how their ego was feeling hurt, they stayed dedicated and they keep showing up and became really, really good at it. I would be a lot more impressed. Well, I'd be impressed by somebody who is just naturally amazing at it too. But it's like there's an extra layer of there's an extra layer of impressiveness there. Like, I'm admiring your character now. Like, I'm not just admiring your talent. I'm admiring the type of person that you are. I'm admiring your character. So it's like committing to yourself and committing to your skills and really allowing your talents to see your full potential. So learning discipline and learning to be patient is also going to be a really big thing for you in this lifetime. And I think that's something that your spiritual team would like to help you with as well. So moving on, it's interesting. Like, I kind of wanted to read these two together, and now I want to read these two together. We have the 10 of Wands and we have the 2 of Wands. So I think that one of the keys for you guys, we've spoken a lot about you guys being able to do it all, being able to do everything you want to do, try all the careers or all the projects, all the businesses that you want to do. A big part of that is learning that you don't have to do it alone. And this is where your partnerships come in. We spoke about that a little bit with the number 24, you guys having really stable and reliable and loyal partners in your life. And the way these are going together is so very nice, because the 10 of Wands is like, I'm freaking exhausted. I'm working my ass off. All of the burden is falling on me. Like, I can't do this on my own. And then the 2 of Wands is like mutually beneficial partnerships that bring you freedom and that bring you options and that open the door to adjacent possibilities for you. So I think learning to accept help, which we spoke about with the aloe, it's like, you don't need to just keep giving and keep giving and keep giving of yourself. You're allowed to accept help. You're allowed to receive. That's a big lesson for you guys as well. But like, for example, if you want to have like 3 businesses in this lifetime, you can do all of them as you start to accept the help from loyal business partners, so that you don't have to be managing every single little thing. Of course, if you take that all on by yourself, there's only 24 hours in a day. And yeah, that's going to be freaking difficult. So enlist the help from loyal partners. And I do believe that these partners are going to be they are going to be members of your soul family, and they're going to, a way to identify if somebody's a member of your soul family is that after meeting them, they have opened some kind of door for you. They have presented some kind of opportunity for you. When they hear about what you do, they're able to introduce connections that might help you, resources, information that might help you. You guys might also have a soul family who is very international. I'm just thinking with the globe in this person's hand and this nomadic energy that I was picking up from you guys, you might have soul family members who are kind of all over the map. Maybe they start off as online friends, or you meet them when you are traveling. And I also think that your soul family members are very enterprising, if that's the right word, like very ambitious, probably have their own genius ideas for their own projects and businesses. And I see a lot of happy collaboration here. But yes, the 10 of Wands is reminding you that you don't have to do this all on your own. It's also reminding you to take care of your health and listen to your body. I'm thinking of this card in the Angel Tarot deck, and it says, too much work, accept help from others, stress-related health concerns. So it will be really, really important for you guys to listen to your body in this lifetime. Like, this is also kind of like a damaging thing of our society, that there's something honorable in like pushing through when you're tired, or there's something honorable about showing up to work even when you're sick. And no, you guys really need to take care of your vessel. So when you're getting really tired, then it's time to sleep. And when you feel stressed, it's time to take a break. You guys get the picture. When you're feeling tense, it's time to get a massage or stretch or move around. And I think that when we speak about discipline, it's so often applied to discipline in our work, discipline in our tasks. But I think for you guys, it's also really important to be disciplined in your self-care. Like, show up with that same Daddy Saturn, structured, kind of strict energy to care for yourself and to rest as much as you do for work, because they're both so important. So I think that I've covered all of the messages that I haven't spoke about yet from these cards. So we're going to move on to the Universal Oracle cards. This deck was actually created and sent to me by one of my subscribers. I love it so much. All the decks are listed in the description, but if you guys like this deck and want to support her, be sure to check it out. Okay, you guys got 3. I was gonna take 2, but you got 3 that came out all together. We have independence, which I literally use that word to describe you guys. Self-sufficiency, freedom, and sovereignty. Cats might be an important spirit animal for you guys as well, and one of your soulmates in this lifetime might actually be a cat, or might actually be a companion animal. And now I'm just thinking about this message that we've been talking about with you guys accepting help from others, and with that proud Leo-y energy that's kind of been popping up throughout this reading. One of the things that might stop you guys from accepting help is pride, is this feeling of like, I want to prove that I can do it all on my own. I want to prove that I can handle it. Maybe there's this kind of subconscious belief that you guys have from this lifetime or from previous lifetimes that accepting help is like a sign of weakness, or it's a sign that you can't do it all on your own, or that you're not independent anymore. I feel like some of you guys are really scared of being dependent on people, like giving people that power, but there's really, really loyal, very loyal, strong, reliable connections coming to you that are going to break this cycle, that are going to break this fear and show you it is safe for you to depend on other people. And I got to tell you, there's no human on this earth who is 100% independent, who does everything on their own. And we're not meant to. We're meant to be this interconnected web. We're meant to be one. We're meant to rely on each other. Like, we're social, we're emotional creatures. And honestly, like, it's literally physically impossible. It's literally physically impossible to do everything by yourself. So you're learning that you can be independent, you can be a boss babe, and you can still receive, and you can still get help from other people. And that doesn't make you weaker, that doesn't make you less impressive. It makes you a freaking human being like everybody else. We also have healing, shadow work, and inner child work. Maybe some of these difficulties that you're dealing with come from your childhood. And we have goals, hopes, dreams, aspirations, and ideas. These all came out together, so maybe I should kind of read them all together. Maybe some of your big aspirations in this lifetime, or some of your talents that you're meant to develop, are things that you like to do as a child. Like if I read the inner child from here, healing wounds from your childhood could also help you move towards your goals with more confidence. So some of your difficulties in this lifetime that we've spoken about are feeling obligated to give people the shirt off your back. So feeling like other people are entitled to you and entitled to your stuff and your energy. Getting easily discouraged and feeling like it's the end of the world if you're not good at something. And what was the other one? Oh, struggling to ask for help. So these are things that might stem from your childhood and that you might want to revisit and heal in this lifetime in order to live your most fulfilling life. And we also have love, universal, unconditional love, and source. That's so freaking cool, because like this card was all about universal, unconditional love, and then we literally have this card here that says source on it. You guys have so much love for humanity. You have so much love for the collective. You are truly a being of love, and you will experience the most beautiful divine love in this lifetime. I said at the beginning of the reading, like these connections that we see, I see them all across the board, like these beautiful loyal connections. I see them romantically. I see them in terms of friendship. I see them in terms of your business. You are so loved, and you are meant to receive and experience beautiful love in this lifetime. This is also, is it the Creative's Compass? I believe that's what this deck is called. This is also created and sent to me by a subscriber. So again, if you guys would like to support them, all of the links will be down below. Procrastination, find ways back in, slow down, restore and make way for a clearer understanding, release guilt and worry. Distractions can lead you to clarity. So some of you guys might also struggle with procrastination in this lifetime, and I do believe that it comes from like a fear of failure or kind of a perfectionist-y energy that you guys might have. Like, if you're really terrified of not doing something well, or you're just like, what can I say, wary or dreading that discouragement when like inevitably I'm gonna do it and I'm not gonna reach my goals anyway, so I might as well not do it anyway. You might have that kind of subconscious inner dialogue. And so I think a really big thing for you guys is shifting the focus away from results and shifting it more to your habits, shifting it more to your routine. And again, shifting away from like, I will feel gratification when I reach my goal, and then moving that to I feel enjoyment in the process. I don't care if I'm good at it. I just want to enjoy doing it. I psych myself out like this a lot when it comes to literally everything, when it comes to music, when it comes to exercising, when it comes to reading cards, all things that I love doing. But when I feel too much pressure on myself, I tend to put them off. Like when I'm worried about not doing my best. And it's like, we're people. Sometimes we do our best, sometimes we don't do our best, or like, you know what I'm trying to say. Like sometimes we have these fluctuations, and it's unfair to say that I'm only going to be proud of myself and I'm only going to value the work I do when it's 10 out of 10 amazing every time. That's just not realistic. It's like the expectations you guys are putting on yourself are not realistic, are not physically possible. Like you guys are quite hard on yourselves. And I think if you just relaxed and went into your tasks with the feeling of like, I'm gonna have fun and I might not see immediate results today, but I know that I'm gonna get better over time. And like, what's the rush anyway? I'm just here to enjoy myself. That might really help to remedy procrastination or feelings of unmotivation if you guys struggle with that. And I'm just gonna check. Oh, I can check the color from the word. I was gonna see if they're the same color. Deep dive, in search of treasure, but it's okay to lose the map. Go deep. So this is another card that is really like reaffirming to me that you guys don't have such a strict or rigid map when it comes to this lifetime. We were kind of talking about that with the flow like water card, and it's really interesting that this person is doing a deep dive. And they're not being directed anywhere. They can go wherever they please. When it comes to like what you do for a living, where you end up in the world, whom you end up with, I feel like that's entirely up to you. And I should mention, if you've ever felt like your spiritual team is kind of quiet when you ask them what you should do, it's likely because they're leaving it up to you. It's likely because they're trying to answer, like, do what you want, do what feels good to you. The blueprint for your life, it definitely feels more like rough guidelines as opposed to really, really specific directions. And the Two of Wands for me talks about that as well. It's like the freedom of having options, the freedom to go wherever you want. And maybe a lesson for you in this lifetime as well is learning to not be afraid of that. Like to not be afraid and just waiting for direction, and actually take that agency to go where you want to go and say, wherever I step, wherever I tread, my spiritual team will follow, and they'll find me and they'll bring my blessings wherever I choose to go. Some of you guys might have had very like strict, harsh, or controlling adult figures in your life when you were young, that you felt completely dependent on them, and like you always have to wait for what they tell you to do. Because a big thing of your life is reclaiming your power, reclaiming your agency, to say like, this is what I want, this is what I want to do. And me wanting to do it it's the only reason, but it's a good enough reason to take this step. So now I'm taking some cards from this Starseed Oracle to finish off. Magnificence. You are amazing, magnificent, and unique, but most importantly, you are enough. Okay, we also have intuition. Trust your intuition. It has been guiding you to the answers that you seek. Your intuition is what's going to help you to navigate this vast sea, not analyzing, not asking someone else what you should do. Although you can totally do those if that feels good. But at the end of the day, it comes from a gut feeling. It comes from your intuition. I'm going to take one last card to fill in this space here. One last card to go at the top. Fruition. And I was thinking like the one we put at the top, this will be like the cherry on top, the icing on the cake, the biggest theme for you. Your life is all about fruition. Your dreams and goals coming to fruition. Your ideas bearing fruit. Fertility. This is giving me Empress energy. Rest assured, your dreams and visions will come to fruition. Wow. What a way to end with a bang. So, group number 1, these are all the messages that I'm seeing for you, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, sending your spiritual team lots of love as well, and I thank them very, very much for coming forward today, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose the raw blue lace agate, this is going to be a reading all about your life purposes and who you are meant to be in this lifetime. So I'm going to start off this reading with a whole bunch of oracle cards. I've taken quite a few more than I normally do, but I just really felt called today to like lay out a bunch of oracle cards at once, which if you guys have seen some of my other readings, you know that I don't normally do this. So I hope that it will go okay. I'm kind of used to reading them like one at a time or just a couple at a time, but let's see how it goes. The first card that we have for you is chocolate with the message aphrodisiac. Creating cooperation. And on the other side, we have the message, more gets accomplished when everyone has a role to play. I'm going to leave it like this for now, but I might flip it over later in the reading. We have Pallas Athena with the message, think. We have disruption. Gossip. Cypress, the trigger statement is I need to control. The true statement is I surrender. And we have the messages resilience and allow yourself to relax with the currents of life. These changes will take you even closer to where you are meant to be. Then we have spend time with friends. And joyful muse with the message inspiration. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is take a look at the beings that we see on these cards, so including humans and animals, and I'm also going to look at the numbers that are present, as well as if I can pick out any zodiac signs or energies from these cards. So first of all, I want to talk about this spend time with friends card. I think that your group of friends, if you have them already, I just looked up and the camera was at 222, which is like all about partnerships and love and relationships. You guys are going to have, if you don't already, an amazing group of best friends in this lifetime, like the best friends that you could ever ask for. And these are members of your soul family. If you guys have them already, you will definitely know who I am talking about. But if you don't have them in your life just yet, I want you to know that like the most amazing friendship you could ever wish for is coming to you. I do think that it will be a group, so at least 3 people. But these are like your soul siblings. This is your group that you can share anything with. And I'm looking at these phases of the moon on top, which make me think about the phases of life, the fluctuations, the ups and downs. These are friends who will see through who will see you through everything. So they'll see you at your best, they'll see you at your worst. And that was a slip there, but maybe they will also see right through you. Like, they will know you better than you know yourself. You won't be able to hide anything from them, but they will understand you and accept you like you have never felt before. Like, just a really, really solid, really, really close bond. And this friendship, just enjoying this companionship, I think is one of your big purposes, or one of your big experiences that your soul wanted to have in this lifetime. And with gossip here, this is the other card that has beings on it. I do think that you're gonna make quite a bit of ripples, if that's the right way to say it. You're gonna kind of rock the boat in this lifetime. I'll get a little bit into it later on because I'm kind of getting more information about that, but you're gonna be very seen and you're gonna be very talked about in this lifetime. Now, what scale that is on, I think that's going to depend on the person, because of course this is a general reading. So this could be like, you know, you're the talk of the town, or your coworkers are all talking about you, or you're a public figure and a lot of people are talking about you. But I'm sensing that you are going to be someone who is in some kind of eye, whether it's the community eye, the public eye. And people have opinions about you and people have stuff to say about you. And so I think a big lesson of this lifetime as well is learning how to kind of shut that out and learning to remember that really at the end of the day, the only opinion of you that matters is your own, but also like the people you care about, the people you share your life with, the people who actually know you. And so a big lesson for you in this lifetime is kind of filtering those opinions, filtering those words, and saying like, I don't give you permission to affect how I feel about myself or how I view myself. When it comes to my life, your opinion is irrelevant. You don't even know me. I'm not even paying attention. And then like, you are someone valuable in my life. I trust your judgment. I trust your guidance. And I think that takes a really, really strong inner compass and a really, really strong sense of self, and like knowing who you are. Knowing who you are and being confident and, you know, standing firmly in your identity, I think will be a big theme in your life as well. And not being easily like influenced or swayed by other people's opinions, other people's words, and frankly, other people's bullshit. I'm sorry for other people's baloney. Let's put it like that. So I really think you're going to have an amazing support system though. And it kind of looks like these people it looks like they have tarot cards and oracle cards out. So this will be like your spiritual soul family that you can share your interest in the occult with. You can share your divination practices with. You can share all about your spiritual journey. I think discovering your spirituality was something that your soul planned in this lifetime. Like, you did want to move through this life awake to your spirituality, acquainted with your soul, acquainted with your spirit guides, with the knowledge that these amazing people in my life are souls that my soul is very, very familiar with. So let's take a look at the numbers that we have here now. And actually, you have a whole lot of threes. You have the number 33 on the Joyful Muse card, which I noticed right away. And you have the number 30 here, which reduces to 3. I think very many of you guys will be artists in this lifetime, whether you pursue that as your profession or just for a hobby. I think that expressing yourself through art, whether that be visual art or music or dance or any kind of art, I think that's something that's going to bring your soul a lot of joy. And that is really going to let your soul come forward. The number 3 talks about communication. It also talks about expansion. When you are expressing yourself in an artistic way, like, this is the preferred method of communication for your soul. This is when you're going to hear messages from your higher self the strongest. And again, whether you choose to make a career of this or not, it is something that your soul is asking you to do. With that being said, if you ever did want to make a career out of your art, I think that your soul would be really, really happy, because it's like, I'm thinking of the Empress with the number 3. I'm thinking of the world because that's also associated with the number 3. Like, the more people who could experience your genius, the better. And I really wanted to get into that point that you guys are a genius. With this Pallas Athena card with the message think, we have the number 3 here again, which is about communication, expansion, creativity, accompanied with the number 0, which is like infinite possibility. So it's like your mind is I'm infinitely smarter than you, and I'm infinitely more successful than you. Your mind has infinite potential. There is like no limits to what you can come up with. Some of you guys might be inventors of some kind as well. If you're not really vibing with the like artistic, creative kind of thing, you could be creating inventions. You could be making scientific discoveries or medical discoveries. You're discovering, inventing, creating something. Your brainchilds are going to be brainchildren are going to be like your legacy in this lifetime. You're going to have amazing intellectual property. There is an archangel who wants to work with you, but I'm not sure who it is. So I think after this reading, I'm going to search like if there's a specific archangel who helps with like intellectual pursuits or who helps with inventions, research, discovery, and these kind of things, because I think that is the angel who wants to work with you. I will put it in a subtitle here, and actually let me just make a note of that for editing Kino. Subtitle of angel, just so that I don't forget, because sometimes I feel like I forget where I need to edit and add stuff. But you have quite a revolutionary mind, and your brain is definitely a divine gift. I would say that you guys likely have a very highly developed crown chakra, and you also likely have the gift of claircognizance, meaning that you know things psychically. You don't know things from your 5 senses, you just know it psychically. So you could meet someone and know a bunch of facts about them, or you could be aware of something that's going on the other side of the world, like, oh, these people are having a meeting now and this is going to be implemented in our society. And then however many weeks later it's announced to the public. You kind of have, and I think it's specifically with future events, you kind of get a heads up or a head start when the world's future events are in the works, is how it's coming to me, which is really, really cool. So your mind is amazing. Your psychic mind is amazing. Your 3D intellectual mind is amazing. You guys might have been very, very bored at school, and maybe you were misunderstood for like being spaced out or being a bad kid or being a bad student, and it's just because you were so freaking bored because everything was too easy for you. You might have also found it really hard growing up to make friends, or at least to make deep friendships. Maybe you found that a lot of your friendships like weren't very substantial, kind of superficial, because frankly a lot of people just can't get on your level. And I think, you know, with that in mind, the reassurance that this wonderful friend group is coming to you, that might be like a very welcome, very, well, who isn't happy to receive friendships? But I think for some of you especially, it's like such a relief to hear that there will be people who understand you, there will be people who can keep up with you, and people who really like vibe with you on the same wavelength and can, you know, bounce ideas around with you and brainstorm with you and have philosophical, hypothetical discussions with you. People who can really entertain your mind and also nurture your heart and nurture your spirit. You guys could also be into like film or television or communications, something like that as well. You could also be in law, because it's like you're very smart, you're very good at strategies, you're very good at finding loopholes, and if you're arguing with someone or like trying to get your point across, I feel like 99.99% of the time you're gonna like outsmart whoever is up against you. You guys are amazing at analyzing. You're amazing at finding like logical pathways and finding solutions to problems. Just, I think you guys get the picture. I could probably rave about your mind for half an hour, but we're not going to do that. We're going to get on with the reading. Now, I want to talk about this disruption as well, because there's a little bit of, and maybe this is like Aquarian energy. I am getting kind of air sign energy from you guys. Could be Virgo or Scorpio as well. But yeah, air energy is coming through quite strongly, especially Aquarius, because I'm thinking of that kind of rebellious, different game changer kind of energy that Aquarius has. And with disruption, with this think disruption, I think a lot of your ideas and a lot of your beliefs are going to challenge the status quo. And now that I put this together, maybe that is why there is gossip about you. And I think to fulfill your soul's mission, there will be a part of you, like you will need the support system. You'll need to really know who you are and know what you stand for and stay grounded. But I think there's kind of a part of you that will need to, kill is too strong of a word, but subside your ego. Is subside a transitive verb? I don't know. Your ego will have to subside in order to fulfill your soul's mission, because what I'm being shown is that through your crown chakra, through your psychic abilities, more advanced beings are sharing with you ideas that this world needs, food for thought that this world needs, to kind of shake things up and change the direction that our planet Earth is going in, to stop us from going to, what am I trying to say? To stop us from going to shit. You're going to be fed a lot of like solutions and revolutionary ideas to help this Earth. And the people who are ready for advancement, the people who are ready to wake up, are going to accept these ideas, are going to follow and support what you're doing. But anytime a new idea is introduced to Earth, it's usually like a small minority who gets on board at first, and then more and more people get on board. You might be really exposing some truths of this world that, like, there's so many things that we do in this world that are incredibly fucked up, but just because we're used to it and nobody really challenges it, it all gets swept under the rug. And then it's only after many, many generations that we look back and we're like, holy crap, that, like, I can't believe we as a society just accepted that. And I think you're kind of one of the first early souls to challenge that status quo and to break that mold. And yeah, it will be kind of a small amount who wakes up and is following you. But at first, there might be a lot of people who honestly feel attacked. Like, it's really hard. It takes a lot of maturity and it takes a lot of self-awareness to respond when you get called out and be like, yeah, I have been perpetuating something that is messed up. I do need to change my lifestyle. I do need to change my beliefs. Unfortunately, that's not the first automatic response of most people. They tend to get very defensive or deflective and like put it back on you. Like, who are you to judge me? And it's like, this is not about you. It's about the issue. It's about the collective. And I think operating from our ego makes it really, really difficult to implement meaningful and lasting change, because we don't see it as somebody criticizing the practice or criticizing the game. We see it as someone criticizing the player, you know? Like, don't judge me. It's like, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying what we're doing as a society is messed up. So that could be a little bit of a challenging hurdle to overcome in your lifetime. And also, this whole thing was to talk about you guys like subsiding your ego. And, you know, if people are gossiping about you, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. It's that these people feel threatened. They feel attacked. They feel insecure that what they're participating in that they know is messed up is being called out. And they're like too proud to admit it. They would rather stay in their comfort zone. They would rather not see the truth of their actions and what harmful things they have been perpetuating. So anything negative that anyone would have to say about you, it is just a reflection of how secure they are within themselves and how comfortable they are with being called out. And it's just like a self-defense, self-protection kind of thing. I definitely get the feeling that you guys are much ahead of your time, and whatever field you do end up with, like whether it's like the legal field or music or communications or media, whatever it might be, what was I gonna say? I think that everything that you do is gonna have like a deeper message behind it. Everything that you do would be imbued, well, it doesn't have to be, but it has the potential to be imbued with some kind of commentary, with something to wake us up, with something to make us question how we are living our life. You could be an amazing like writer or director of film, or like you create experiences for the world that, if they are ready for the message and if they're awake to it, will really make them question stuff and could really change the direction that the world is going in for the better. But I just get the feeling like at the time that you are incarnated, there will be many people who are still asleep to your ideas, and your spiritual team is saying not to let that discourage you, because I think that's a very common experience for geniuses and for very influential people, which you are. I think that after you're gone from this earth, your legacy will remain, and people will look back and be like, holy crap, group 2 was a genius, group 2 was so ahead of their time, group 2 really had a message for us. So your messages will stay. They will stay for generations, and they will have the impact that they are meant to have. These changes don't happen overnight, and your spiritual team just really wants you to keep your courage and to keep going. And I think that you're also like, we've been talking about your support system in terms of your group of friends, but I do think that you guys are going to have a lot of supporters. Like, for all of the people who have this and that to say, I think the messages that you get, like, dear group 2, thank you for doing what you're doing. You really changed my life. I turned my life around because of you. I decided to change my ways because of you. I see the world differently because of you. Thank you so much. Those kind of messages are like a million times more valuable to keep doing what you're doing. It's kind of like cliche, but it's like, if one person could be moved by the work that you do, then it's worth it. And it really is, because that one person might go on to move 10 people, and those 10 people might go on to move 20 people each. And really, just one little influence that you make can create such a big ripple. Now, we also have this message of resilience, which I think ties in quite well. The trigger statement is I need to control. The true statement is I surrender. So while I think you do have this mission to express yourself and express your ideas, it's important to remember that it's not your job to make people see the truth, and it's not your job to change how people think. That is something that they will do at their own pace, that they will do over time, or that they may never do at all. But at the end of the day, if you have expressed yourself and you've gotten your point across, then you have fulfilled your mission. I think this is important because it can take some pressure off you. Like, your mission is not to change people's minds or to make people understand. Your mission is just to express what is in that incredible galaxy brain of yours. Like, that is all that you can do, and that in itself is so impressive and requires so much bravery and so much skill. Like, really, really hats off to you guys. I also want to say with this card that says, allow yourself to relax with the currents of life. These changes will take you even closer to where you are meant to be. I think that you'll find throughout your life that there is a heavy element of destiny. There's a lot of significant events in your life that feel fated, and you may find in your life that you have a lot of tower moments, or you have a lot of moments that are very roughly like redirecting you. Like, if you're pursuing something and you're not meant to, like your soul didn't want to go that way, or your spiritual team is protecting you from going that way, you'll find that there's like a million signs that are getting in your way and trying to stop you from doing something. And similarly, if you are meant to go a certain way, there will be like blaring signs ambushing you wherever you go. I think you're going to feel that higher power really, really presently in your life. If you've been questioning about that, it definitely is a higher power communicating with you. It's not like you're making it up or something like that. Maybe some of you guys need confirmation that some things you've experienced in your life were in fact signs, were in fact divine intervention. But this is kind of interesting because it's a pretty significant contrast to group 1, where we saw more of like, oh, just go wherever you want. Like, you're free to move in any direction, which we all are. We all have that free will to do whatever we want. But I feel like your plan for this lifetime is a little bit more specific. Like, there's a little bit more guidelines. You likely discussed this with your spiritual team. Like, I kind of want to stay on this path and, you know, please redirect me to where I need to go. Because I think you're just going to experience more redirection, more changes, more divine interventions in your lifetime. And, you know, significant, like I said, significant events in your life might feel really, really faded. Some of those might be uncomfortable. I feel like they often are. But like this card says, any changes are taking you closer to where you are meant to be. So this is something that you can apply in retrospect, like looking back on the tower moments, on the unexpected moments of your life, and something to keep in mind moving forward. Anytime there's like a jarring change, something falling through, something suddenly being introduced into your life, this is all divinely guided, and this is all happening for you to get you closer to where you are meant to be. So there is a need to be able to go with the flow and to be calm in the midst of those changes, which it's very interesting that you guys were drawn to the blue lace agate, because this is a very calming stone. And any stone that has this nice kind of light bluey color, it really makes me think of like go with the flow kind of energy. And obviously it's not here today, but aquamarine is a stone that I think really, really helps with that as well. So if you guys do collect your own crystals, and you could get your hands on some like tumbled aquamarine, as well as blue lace agate, those could be really nice. Also aventurine is coming to my mind, blue or green aventurine. Those could be really nice to hold on to, and they might actually help you come up with ideas. Like if you're holding them in your hand while you're brainstorming, some ideas that lead to your prosperity might come to you more easily. Okay, so moving on, we have creating cooperation. And I'm just going to flip it over again. More gets accomplished when everyone has a role to play. So you might be working in a team actually, and it's kind of cool how this is shaped. I know it looks like a pyramid, and I'm not I'm not suggesting you guys to get into anything like that, but I am thinking of this more as like spiritual dimensions. And we have the light workers, aka you and your soul family, who are like dispatched on earth, and then we have your spirit guides, and then we have their spirit guides, and then we have the ascended masters. Like, it feels like what you're involved in is a not multi-level marketing, a multi-level operation for Earth. But everybody benefits from it. Everybody gets the rewards. Everybody reaps their fruit. Everybody reaps their rewards from it. And so I do think that you may be working with a team when it comes to your professional and light working pursuits. I'm not getting the feeling for most of you that it is the same people as this friend group. I feel like these are the people who you can take off your armor with and just be like a couch potato and just be you and just let loose. When you're in your think mode, when you're in your light worker mode, when you're in let's get shit done mode, I feel like it's a different team that you guys are working with. It is a general reading, so if you resonate more strongly with like this is your close friend group and you're also working with them, of course you are free to interpret it in that way, but that's not really the vibe that I am getting for most of you. So you'll have like a personal life soul family and a professional life soul family, if I can put it that way. And then finally we have chocolate with aphrodisiac. And actually the very first thing that came to my mind with this card is that you guys are very attractive. You guys are very sexy. I don't know why that's coming up. Maybe you guys just need to hear that and have more confidence in yourself. Like, you are stunning. And actually some of you guys could get into careers that are involved with flaunting your beauty, like if you are a public figure or if you are a model. But I do think that you will use, or an artist, you know, but I think that you will use your platform to do good in the world. And it's not just about like, look how attractive I am. I think you guys just need to know that. Maybe some of you guys don't really see how beautiful you truly are inside and out. And this is just a reassurance of that. Also looking at this body wrap, and the chocolate has a very luxurious vibe in this card. I think there's also a need for you guys to remember to pamper yourself. Take good care of your body. And when I say take good care of your body, I think for you guys, it's like treat your body. Treat your body, give it what it needs. You guys are going to be the most happy, I think, if you don't, well, you could say this for anybody, but like if you don't punish your body, if you don't discipline your body so hard or stay so rigid, I think it's a lot more healthy for you guys to indulge, treat yourself, like eat chocolate if you want to eat chocolates, eat the foods that you want to eat, rest when you want to rest. Because if you force yourself to some health plan or some fitness plan, just for the sake of disciplining yourself or because you feel like it's bad to indulge, that is going to cause a great deal of stress for you. And your mind is so strong. So any thought that you're holding on to, I think could be amplified quite a bit. And we just want you to be happy and comfortable. Maybe you guys are just a little bit too strict with yourselves in terms of like your lifestyle, what you put in your body, what your body looks like. And your guides just want you to relax and enjoy the pleasures of having a body. I know having a body can be very tiresome and annoying sometimes, but it's also a suit that allows us so much pleasure through touch, through taste, through smells. You get the picture. Like, enjoy your body, celebrate your body, enjoy your senses, and appreciate your body for the pleasure that it allows you to experience, rather than just like what it looks like or how it's performing. Pamper yourself, indulge yourself. That is also one of your life purposes. Not all life purposes have to be like a task or have to be for other people. Just liking your body, feeling good in your body, and spoiling it, I think, is a purpose of your life too. I was just gonna say, tell your body something nice today, which is so cheesy, but maybe you guys need to give your body some positive affirmations. Okay, so this concludes the first oracle card energy read of this reading. So we're going to move into the tarot now and see if we can get more information about who you're meant to be, what you're meant to do in this lifetime. So we have the 5 of Wands coming out pretty quickly. Group 1 got this card too. Woo! They're coming out so fast. We have the Ace of Cups. I'm going to read these together. Does that want to come out? No. We have the Star. Look, it's Aquarius energy, and I really was picking up on Aquarius energy. If you guys have any Aquarius placements, I said this for group 1 as well. Well, not for Aquarius, for a different sign, but if you guys have any Aquarius placements, which actually most people who are watching, I think, would have like Uranus or Neptune or one of those in Aquarius. But if you have any personal planets like Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, which is not a personal planet, but it's a little bit shorter orbit, you might want to look into those, like even just a quick Google search to see what those Aquarius placements are all about. That could help to give you a little bit more insight about who your soul is trying to become, what your soul is striving to do in this lifetime. Of course, only if you feel called to. I'm not trying to like assign you guys any work to do. Also North Node or South Node if you have those in Aquarius. But if not, then there may be Aquarius people who are very, very significant for you in this lifetime. And for me, the Star does make me think of a light worker or a star seed or a highly psychic person, a highly influential person, someone who might be kind of like a black sheep but is here to make ripples and change the world. And oh my gosh, we also have the 10 of Cups. Okay, so I think a big lesson for you in this lifetime, first of all, you guys, we've talked about your amazing mind and your brilliant ideas. You have great power, but with that, I think you guys also feel like a big sense of responsibility, a big sense of duty. You guys have incredible compassion for this world, and I think you have incredible drive to help the world see a brighter future. The star is about having hope for the future, but I think like something that might be difficult for you guys is drawing the line where you remember that changing the world is not your job. And I used to say this a lot in readings, and I feel like I kind of stopped saying it. And I want to start saying it again. When we tell you, we being readers or your spiritual team or whoever, when we tell you about gifts that you have, and like, oh, you could help a lot of people with these gifts, it is never an obligation. Your gifts are for you. So if you decide like, I'm claircognizant and I have visions of the future, but I'm not going to tell anybody, I'm going to keep this for myself, I'm going to keep this for my own life, nobody can like judge you for that, or nobody can condemn you for that, because that gift is yours. If you want to share it, and if you want to use your gifts for everybody else, then of course you will be warmly welcomed for that. You will be very supported for that, but it should never be an obligation. You will never be punished or judged negatively for not sharing your gifts, because that takes a lot of energy. That shit takes a lot of energy. But anyway, I do think that you guys will be using your gifts to help others, but kind of a challenge in this lifetime is learning where to draw the line where you don't feel that obligation and you don't feel bad when you're not doing it. And it's interesting that we had all this message about treating yourself, pampering yourself, and now we have the Ace of Cups coming out, which for me is like a big self-love, self-care. It's the card that tells you to fill your own cup. And enjoying your life is also a purpose. Enjoying your alone time is also a purpose. Caring for yourself and nurturing yourself is also a purpose. And it's probably one that actually you guys need to be reminded of more than your mission, more than your profession, more than sharing your ideas, more than changing the world. It's like you need to remember to come back to yourself. Aquarius energy is all about the collective. It's all about humanity. But this chocolate and this Ace of Cups, it's all about you. You as an individual and your pleasures and your leisure time and your fun time and your peace of mind, it matters just as much. What's the point of moving the world in a good direction if we're all going to be frazzled and stressed? Like, your own enjoyment is a gift to the world too. Focusing on your inner peace is a gift to the world too. And if everybody claimed their Ace of Cups, if everybody took care of themselves in this way, we would have a much better world. I think there would be a lot less conflict. There would be a lot less bitterness, because a lot of the time we're just freaking stressed and tired and we can't be bothered. And imagine if everybody was moving through the world like they just got the best massage of their life and they're rested and charged and rejuvenated. We would have so much more peace in the world. And I also think that we would get more done, because we would actually have energy, and we would do things when it feels good. We would do things with inspiration. I wonder what the world would look like if we all claimed our Ace of Cups. So you should never feel guilty for taking time to yourself or for caring for yourself. Luckily, I think you're going to have an amazing group of friends who always reminds you of that and encourages you of that. That's a really good way to identify who these people are. They will never make you feel guilty for putting yourself first, for like canceling plans when you need to cancel plans, taking time for your mental health. Like, they would never put that kind of pressure or guilt on you. That's a huge identifying factor for them. Also, the fact that they're incredibly smart as you and can keep up with you. But yeah, huge messages about taking care of yourself. And also with the 10 of Cups, like, You deserve to have emotional fulfillment as well. I think this is a dilemma that many of us can face, but especially if you are a woman in this society, many cultures, if not all, there's still this kind of undercurrent of like, you have to choose between being a career woman or a family woman. You have to choose between your professional life and your home life. Or at the very least, our society doesn't make it very easy to do both. I think that can be tough regardless of gender, but like, especially so for women, and there's a lot of judgment that comes with the choice that you make, and it's like you can't win, right? Like if you choose to be a stay-at-home mom, if you choose to prioritize your family, then it's like you're lazy, you're a gold digger, you're this and that. But if you choose to be a career woman, it's like, oh, you're gonna regret it, you're gonna die alone. Like, you know, it's just, you can't win. So for those women out there who are watching, that might be kind of a tough dilemma for you in this lifetime. But the 10 of Cups tells you that you can have it all. The 10 of Cups is having everything that your heart desires and more. And you deserve to have your emotional fulfillment. If you are pursuing your career with a lot of gusto and committing to your professional life, you should never feel guilty about your emotional desires. You should never feel guilty about wanting love, about wanting a family, because you choosing your career is not synonymous with rejecting those things. And anyone who tries to make you feel like that is just, I'm not gonna call them anything bad, but they are perpetuating a piece of shit idea. Let's just say that. They're perpetuating a bad idea, and I think that you guys shouldn't feel guilty. I'm seeing an image of someone who has dedicated themselves to their career, and then they've reached a certain age and they're like lonely, or like they're single and they want to be with someone. And then some people jumping in and being like, well, you chose this life for yourself, so you shouldn't feel lonely. Like, you chose this, you put this upon yourself, or whatever other stuff. Like, oh, pardon me for being a human and wanting to be fulfilled in multiple areas of my life. Like, shit. So just don't be guilted, and don't like fall into any talk that is going around, because again, anything anyone is saying, it just says more about them and their narrow-mindedness, and probably they're freaking envious of you. Like, maybe they had to choose one, so when they see you having the best of both worlds, they feel freaking jealous. But like, don't take that out on group 2. That is not their fault. You get every single last one of your cups, okay? And don't feel guilty about it. Get your money, get your acclamations, is that the word? Yeah, like acclaimed. Get your awards, get your acclamations, get your partner, get your family, get your happy home. You deserve all of it. That's what the 10 of Cups is telling you. And all of those are your purpose. Don't think that like leisure and relaxation is too frivolous to be a life purpose, because it is. Even though it doesn't necessarily have a destination, it is one of the things that your soul really wanted to experience in this life. You know, I've heard some people say that a lot of souls want to incarnate on Earth. I have mixed feelings about that. Maybe it's true, but I could see like one of the things that makes having this physical body so enjoyable is like being able to freaking sleep, being able to lie on the couch, being able to eat delicious food and feel your stomach being filled. Like, those things are very much motivators for incarnating as well. It's not all like, I'm gonna go down there and raise everybody's vibration and I'm gonna be a millionaire. And like, slowing down and enjoying this vessel and being sensual and being sexy, like, you know, being pleased, that is a big life purpose too. And then we spoke about we didn't speak about the 5 of Wands, but I think we have spoken about a lot of the things that it is standing for, because it talks about inner conflict, can also talk about outer conflict, and this kind of fight that's going on within your mind of like, especially with the huge freaking Saturn in the background, like looming over these people. I think you guys are incredibly disciplined. You're incredibly smart, like we've talked about. And it's that feeling of like, you don't need to be using your brain all the time. And actually, if it's not coming from a guilt of serving others, it may be coming from a fear of losing it. Like I've spoken to some tarot readers before who are like worried when they don't read cards for a long time because they feel like they're gonna lose their gift, or they feel like they're not gonna be worthy of their gifts if they don't use it, and they have to keep using it. Or like even myself, if I go a prolonged time without exercising, I start worrying and getting in my head like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose all my progress, and like when I get back to exercise, I'm not gonna be as endurant or strong or whatever the word is. And it's never even the case, but it's never as bad as I imagine it. And so whatever it is for you, whether it's like guilt or a fear of losing your gifts or a fear of not being worthy of your gifts, you are 1000% always allowed to rest and take care for yourself and prioritize your emotions. And this might be the career that you pursue, might be one that you do need a break from time to time. And that can be hard to explain to people, like when certain jobs are more demanding of breaks. I think like being in the public eye is probably one of those as well, because you have the same stresses as everybody else, like meeting deadlines and completing your tasks and getting tired from working. Those are shit examples, but like you know what I mean? Like you deal with the same things that a regular employee would deal with, but then you also have that added layer of everybody is scrutinizing what I'm doing. Like whereas most people might just have one boss or that nosy coworker who's like breathing over their shoulder, a public figure has like hundreds, thousands, millions of people who are watching their every little move and who think they know them and who think they can judge them and who are interested in their personal life. And you need more breaks from that. And some people just won't understand. Like, if you need to rest more, it's like people are judging from their experience of being a worker. And like, I don't get why you need to rest so much. I don't get why you don't do more work. Or maybe some people don't understand like how much work goes into your projects and your tasks. And I think, like being on YouTube, I don't know if it's the case so much for, well, I shouldn't speak for everyone, but I always kind of feel like tarot reader is one of the easier YouTuber things because there's not much editing that goes into it, and there's no like writing the script and doing research. And whereas like a lot of long form documentary style commentary YouTube videos are coming out recently, and those things can take like weeks or probably even months, like just to make one video, and then it's consumed in like 30 minutes or whatever it is, and then people are like, when's the next video? So like sometimes people just won't understand, I think, how much effort goes into the work that you do or why you need to take breaks. And honestly, you do not need to freaking explain it to them. Like, it's not your job to control how people think. Let them be ignorant, let them say what they say, let them deal with their insecurities in their own way, and you focus on you. That's a million times easier said than done, but I think that is a big lesson for you in this lifetime that will help you carry out your purpose. Okay, so we're going into the last round of oracle cards. These are the universal oracle cards, which were created by and sent to me by a subscriber. So if you guys like this deck and you want to support her, this deck and all of the decks will be linked down below. We have Allow, Flow, Trust, Surrender. So totally a reiteration of this card. Allow yourself to relax with the currents of life. And we even have like the image of the sea on this card. These changes will take you even closer to where you are meant to be. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned the cat, but cats might be a significant spirit animal for you guys. There's actually also a cat. There's a cat on every one of these cards, so I didn't bother to mention it before, but because there's two of them, cats might be significant. And we also have a dolphin on this card. So dolphins might be an important spirit animal for you guys as well. I'm thinking of Sirius, like the star system of Sirius, as well as Lyra, I think it's called. like Syrian star seeds, Lyran star seeds. And oh my gosh, a dolphin and a cat, exactly. Independence, self-sufficiency, freedom, sovereignty. Yeah, those are your spirit animals for sure. Also, I'm noticing like allow starts with A, independence starts with an I, AI. Maybe you're doing something with like artificial intelligence or technology or apps or social media, something technological. And it might be something that is similar to what they have in other star systems, which maybe they don't do it with machines, but they do it energetically. And you're finding a way to translate that and implement it into like 3D physical technology. I'm not really sure what a better way to explain that is, but it's like you're taking ideas from other star systems, because we have the star here as well, and finding a way to practically apply it on Earth, like in a way that makes sense and in a way that is physically feasible. That's super cool. I'm also getting the feeling that you guys, not only will you have supporters, but you'll have investors, or you'll have people who donate to you. Like maybe it's through Patreon, or you have your own organization established. But people are like throwing you money to carry out your projects or carry out your research. Okay, so the next deck that we're going to use is the Creative's Compass. This is also one that was created by and sent to me by a subscriber. So again, if you like this one and you want to support the deck, it will be linked down below. Okay, so we have two coming out together. I will take these together. Recognition and, oh, procrastination. Group 1 got this as well. So I'm going to read this one first. Acclaim. The pat on the shoulder and the shiny things are significant, but they don't affect the truth of your work. It's like exactly what we've spoken about. I'm going to read that again. Acclaim. The pat on the shoulder and the shiny things are significant, but they don't affect the truth of your work. You are not defined by these. You create because you are a creative. You're going to be ahead of your time, for sure. And then we have procrastination. Find ways back in. Slow down. Restore and make way for a clearer understanding. Release guilt and worry. Distractions can lead you to clarity. So this is really interesting because, like I said, Group 1 got this exact same card, but I am interpreting it in a totally different way for you guys. When you guys start to feel like you are procrastinating, like you're putting things off, like you're not motivated or you're not really doing your best work, a big lesson for you is to like call it a day when that happens. And, you know, I would give different advice for different groups of people, like depending on their situation. You know, for some people, like for Group 1, it was more of a message of like, you need to get yourself into action. You need to remedy this procrastination. But for you guys, it's totally opposite, because I think that you're excessively the type of person to like try and push through and try to force yourself to do things when you're not feeling it. And there's been so much messages about like honoring your body, listening to your body. And I think it's important for you guys to hear that like when you're not feeling it, it's okay to call it a day. Like if you are, let's say you are writing, you're a writer, and you're like sitting in front of your laptop and it's been 6 hours and you can feel your eyes burning and you're really tired. Did I already say you're really tired? Maybe I needed to say it again. And then you're saying to yourself, like, I'm not going to go to sleep until I write something that I'm happy with. And it's like, man, you're tired. Like, it's not fair to expect your tired brain to come up with something good. It's okay to call it a day and say, I'm going to come back to this when I'm more recharged. I'm going to come back to this when I've had rest. So I think for you guys, when you find yourself procrastinating, that's like your body and your brain's message to you of like, okay, it's time to stop. It's time to wrap it up. And oh, we have another yellow one. Expansion. You are not limited. Expansion is not a lack of dedication. Expansion is openness to infinite and unexpected possibilities. So I think that this is a card that is warning against tunnel vision. And it's interesting, we had this card. I feel like I'm going back to this cypress card a lot. Maybe like, is cypress a tree? It's some kind of plant. It might be significant to you guys, or maybe the nation of Cyprus is significant to you guys. We also have a lot of letter C's. Well, a few. Letter C might be significant as well. But this card was really, really encouraging you to be open to divine redirection. And I think one thing that might cause some resistance there is feeling like if you go with the flow and embrace the change that is being presented to you, it means that you're giving up on the previous path. And consequently, giving up on the previous path supposedly says something about your dedication, says something about your perseverance. It's like, if you're going on path A, but path B is better for you, the divine's gonna like really try to redirect you, but you might be like, no, I already committed to path A, and if I don't finish this, then I'm weak, then I'm lazy, then I'm not dedicated. And I think that's a way of thinking that might be quite harmful for you guys. And this expansion card is asking you to be open to whatever changes the divine throws your way, and pursuing paths for the right reasons. Like, just putting so much time and effort and energy into something just to say that you committed to it till the end, just for that satisfaction or feeling like you fulfilled that obligation. I don't know if that, I mean, it's subjective, but I don't know if that is such a good reason versus I really feel the higher power and I really feel my soul calling me this way. I feel like that is a more substantial reason. So finally, we are going to take some cards from the Starseed Oracle deck. Ooh, light. Yeah, I think you guys are light workers for sure. It is time to reveal your radiant light to the world. I'm also thinking of Death Note, because isn't there a character called Light? I really need to watch that. I've heard that it's like amazing and it's super famous, but I've just never seen it. Okay, so we have two coming out together. I will take them together. Ooh, stillness. Yep, more reassurance that it's okay to relax. Is it focusing? Whatever. Okay, thank you. Reflect on this moment with love, kindness, and compassion for yourself. Vibration. Your vibration is being raised to higher levels. You are connected to cosmic intelligence. So stillness might be really important for you guys to connect to cosmic intelligence, to receive the downloads that you need to receive. I'm getting a little bit burpy, but we're just gonna get one last card to put at the top here as like the cherry on top of your reading. Choice. By staying conscious in your thoughts, you guide your journey in the direction of choice. I don't know why the cards don't want to focus. Maybe like with all of these messages about you guys needing to rest and a lot of the cards being blurry when I hold them up, I think stillness and rest is really important for you guys to see clearly. And also, we need moments to check in. Like, we need moments to stop and do a progress check and make sure that we're going in the right direction. Because like, if you're going 1,000,000 miles an hour this way and there was a pit stop here, like there was an exit and you just passed by it because you're like, I gotta keep going, I gotta keep going. By the time you rest and take a moment to reflect on what you're doing, you might realize that you were meant to take a turn like 50 miles ago. So it's not all about go, go, go. You need to take the time. Yeah, you get it. You need to take the time to stop and check in with yourself and check in with your spiritual team. And honestly, you guys are super psychic. You guys are super smart. I'm sure that you can do this even when you have a million things on your plate because they're always talking to you. But just for yourself, just for the ritual, for the ceremonious nature of it, draw yourself a bath and relax and sit and talk to them. Like if you had a relationship with somebody, like you wouldn't like it very much if they were always talking to you and doing a million things at the same time. Like, they're typing a blog post, they're cleaning their house, and sure, maybe they're following what you're saying and they're responding in a way that makes sense, like they're on top of the conversation. But wouldn't it feel so much better if they were just like sitting in front of you, had nothing else going on, and really taking in what you have to say? And this is how your spiritual team wants to talk to you. They want to put aside time for you, and you put aside time for them. No phone, what is it? Not a cell phone in sight, just people living in the moment. This is how they want to connect with you. Yes, so group 2, those are all the messages that I'm seeing for you. And I just looked over and saw my subtitle of Angel Note, which I totally forgot about, so thank God I wrote it down. Yeah, thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. Sending you lots of love, sending your spiritual team lots of love as well, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 3s, so if you guys chose the Tiger's Eye Pyramid, this is going to be your reading. Just before we get into the cards, I did want to talk a little bit about the stone you guys were drawn to. If you were drawn to this Tiger's Eye, I think that the person you're meant to become in this lifetime, or the person you are becoming in this lifetime, is someone who is very confident and courageous. And also, you have a fierceness to you that I think your spiritual team and your higher self want you to be really proud of. I think you're becoming a go-getter. I think you're becoming someone who is unapologetic, someone who doesn't people please, someone who doesn't say sorry just because they feel pressure to do that. You're not afraid to stand up for yourself. You're not afraid to speak up. You're not afraid to be loud, to take up space, to assert yourself. It's like your spiritual team wants you to know that that fire within you is beautiful. Your strength, your force, even your anger is beautiful. It's like your spiritual team wants you to like explode and take up more space. Wow. Okay, so let's get into the cards now. I'm going to start off this reading with a whole bunch of oracle cards. You guys might know I normally don't take this many, but we have 8 here. I've just been laying them all out and reading them together, and I think it's been going pretty okay. So let's see what we have for you guys. We're starting off with Cinnamon and Reignite. Very interesting, given what we've spoken about with the Tiger's Eye. Cinnamon has so much warmth to it and so much heat to it. We also have Integrating the Ego, and on the other side it says everything is for me, not against me. We have Scorpio with Investigate, Death, Forgiveness, Clove. The trigger statement is, why did this happen to me? The true statement is, how did this happen for me? And we have the messages Presence and know that you are the star of your life, my dear. You are the lead and the audience is here for you. Then we have Sound Healing. And finally, Moon Maiden with the message New Beginnings. So it's funny that you guys got cinnamon and cloves because those are spices that go really nicely together, and it's making me think of baking. So some of you guys might be really good bakers or cooks. You might be pursuing a career in that, or it's a hobby that you enjoy. But the first thing that I'm going to look at in these cards is, first I'm going to see what beings are on these cards, including humans and animals. And then we'll take a look at the numbers on the cards, as well as any zodiac signs, which you guys are the only group so far who has a very obvious zodiac sign in your cards. You have Scorpio here. So if you guys have any Scorpio placements in your chart, and I've been saying this for every group, and it's only if you feel called to do so, but a little search into your Scorpio placements and what they mean could help to bring you a little bit more insight on what aspects of your soul really want to shine in this lifetime and how you can move more towards your fullest potential. If you don't have any Scorpio in your chart, then this could be indicating that there's going to be a lot of Scorpios, or even one Scorpio actually, who is very significant in your life, or just Scorpio-ish energy will be a dominant one in your life. But in terms of animals that we have here, we have obviously the scorpion, and then we also have a rhinoceros, which is kind of interesting because I feel like we don't see rhinoceros spirit animals that frequently, but that might be a significant one for you guys if you see images of these animals or if you see them in the flesh. I'm not sure how often you would see Scorpios and rhinos in the flesh, but if you do happen to see them, this would be a sign from your spiritual team that you are protected and you are on the right path. In terms of the beings that are here, we do have a little child here. This could be speaking about your inner child, or it could also be talking about your current child or children or your future child or children. I think that this is representing you, or this could be representing somebody that you look up to a lot, and I'll get into that in a second. But this moon maiden, I definitely think that this is a feminine spirit guide who is watching over you. And then in terms of the numbers, we have the number 8 here on the Scorpio card. And because this is a Scorpio card, this is really making me think of the 8th house. I think that this is going to be a very significant and deeply transformative incarnation for you. Like, there is something that really, I don't know if hallmarks is the right word, but when you look back at your catalog of lifetimes, this incarnation is really going to stand out as one that was very pivotal in your soul's journey, one that really changed you, one that led to a lot of growth, and one that really opened your eyes. I think that you'll be dealing with a lot of past life themes in this lifetime, almost like you are reviewing lessons from past lives and finally releasing them and saying goodbye to them and shedding your old skin. And I think that this incarnation marks a very powerful new beginning for you. We literally have the words new beginnings on this moon maiden card, and we have the number 41. 1 is a number that obviously talks about new beginnings. Number 4, in this case, I'm thinking about destiny. I'm thinking about divine order, almost as if this card is saying for you, a new beginning is assured during this lifetime, a powerful new beginning. It is destined. It is literally written in the stars for you. And then we have the number 47, which means that blessings, miracles, good luck is fated for you. Even if we add up these digits, we get 11, which is ones, new beginnings, new manifestations. If we add up 41, we get 5, which is all about change and growth. So I'm sure you can see there's just huge recurring themes of change, growth, new beginnings. It's really, really amazing to see. So now let's go through these cards and get more into the meaning of them. Starting off with Cinnamon and Reignite. I think that something from your past is definitely trying to come back in this lifetime. The first thing that is coming to my mind is something that you guys are very, very passionate about. So this could be something that you loved to do when you were younger, a talent that you were developing, a hobby that you really enjoyed, a project, a business, a career path, a study path, something that you were working on, but that it sort of feels like it got cut off early, or it fell to the back burner, or you didn't get to see the full potential of it. And this might be something that always kind of weighed on you. Like, looking back, you kind of have regrets that you fell off the wagon or that you let go of that path. And I think that the reason you keep being pulled back to it is because it is a part of your calling and your life purpose. So let's say, for example, you used to take dance lessons as a child and you really loved it, but then you got busy with school. And then when you got a bit older, you had to get a part-time job and you just completely stopped dancing, but you've always kind of dreamed about going back to it. This is the kind of vibe that I'm getting. And your guides especially want you to know that it is not too late and that you shouldn't feel guilty for letting go of this thing. Now, for some of you, it could also be a relationship that is being reignited. Like, a past life relationship that is coming back, or a relationship you had in this lifetime that ended in a separation, and your reunion is a part of your life journey this time around. Oh my gosh, I just noticed these two cards have the exact same message on them. Well, almost. This card says, everything is for me, not against me. And this card says, how did this happen for me? So a big lesson in this lifetime is learning how everything worked out in your favor. And I think that goes back to the sentiment of like not feeling guilty if you fell off from things that you were working towards, not feeling guilty if you didn't stay consistent or if things didn't come through in the way that you wanted to, because I feel like even those moments were a part of your soul's journey. Even those moments were happening for you. So just going back to the dancer example, somebody could look back and regret that they let life get in the way. They could regret that they stopped doing that activity that they loved so much. But what they may not see is that even that momentary letting go of their passion was a part of their journey. Maybe there were other experiences that they needed to have. Maybe they needed to learn a lesson about absence making the heart grow fonder, or learn a lesson about what is meant for you, what you truly love will never really leave you. The more, it's like the farther away you get from it, the more you can appreciate it. There might have been some sort of lesson in there for you to learn, but you finding this passion was not a mistake, and you temporarily separating from it was also not a mistake. And without fail, you will come back to it. There's a feeling of something in your life coming full circle, and when it does, you come back with even more appreciation. And it can be the same interpretation for a relationship as well. Like regretting that you let the conflict escalate, regretting that you lost touch with somebody, regretting that things didn't happen differently. And this is your spiritual team saying, you were meant to have this separation. You were meant to live your own lives. You were meant to transform and come back as different people. Like, please don't feel like anything has gone wrong or off the script, because absolutely nothing has gone wrong. This flame was meant to be on a little simmer for a while, and then it was meant to be reignited. The passion was meant to explode again. It is all part of the plan. It is all happening for you. And literally as I finished that sentence, I looked up and the camera timer said 11:11. So these repeating ones might be following you guys around, especially when you are getting close to this moment of reigniting. So if you guys have been seeing repeating ones everywhere and you have no idea what it means, I think it means that some old flame or some old passion is going to be reignited in your life, but it's going to be even better than before. And you're going to realize that this absence, this period of separation, has just made you even more grateful, even more excited, even more passionate, and even more ready now to hold on to it and really, really cherish it. Anything that you have lost in this lifetime that you're grieving or that you feel like regretful about, I'm telling you, it's coming back. Like, I can feel it in my bones. It's coming back. It's not over. And maybe you guys feel that intuitively as well. And this is a huge testament to how the divine works in your life, and what's meant for you will never leave you. So moving on, it's very interesting that we have Scorpio and Death right next to each other, because as you guys might know, the Death card in tarot is associated with the zodiac sign of Scorpio. So you guys have some really heavy Scorpio energy here. Again, it could be referring to Scorpio placements of yours or somebody significant in your life, but I also think this could just be talking about the energy of things that are associated with Scorpio. I do think that your soul wanted to be a deeply spiritual person in this lifetime and wanted to be spiritually awake. And I also think that you guys have some amazing psychic abilities that if you felt called to, you could definitely employ in this lifetime. I could see you guys being an amazing reader or an amazing spiritual teacher or practitioner. You definitely have that in you. Scorpio is also amazing at studying the shadow side of people, of studying the psychology of people. So I could see you guys being very interested in or very good at anything in the fields of like psychology, therapy, social work, sociology, anthropology. If I'm honest, I'm not exactly sure what those entail, but I feel called to say them. Even things like, well, it literally says investigate on here. Any kind of investigator, researcher, detective, someone who really digs deep and absorbs information and tries to get to the bottom of things. I feel like you guys have that inquisitive and curious and very deep mind. And I think you're very, very good at reading people for the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you can use this power to help people transform, to help people integrate their shadow. You can also use this to discover the truth, to bring out the truth and to bring justice to people. I don't know if I said criminology before, but I could see you guys being interested in crime, in investigations, also in paranormal or occulty type stuff. There's many different ways that this can go. And actually with death here, you guys might be an amazing medium. You might be able to see spirits who have crossed over. You might be able to communicate with the dead or just communicate with those who live in the spirit realm. You have that portal open. In terms of your psychic gifts, I feel like you definitely have clairaudience and clairvoyance. So you have the ability to see and hear things in the spirit world. And I think you guys have clairsentience as well. And this goes for feeling emotions psychically as well as physical sensations. And that might be a little bit freaky. Like sometimes maybe you can feel a spirit like reaching out and touching you, putting their hand on your shoulder, or you feel hot or cold when there is a spirit around you. Maybe you start to shake. Yeah, it can be kind of freaky, but you guys definitely have a very powerful mediumship and psychic abilities that you could definitely share with others. You guys might be very good at connecting people to their passed on loved ones or connecting people to their spirit guides. I also think that you guys could be very good at past life regressions on yourself or on other people, as well as healing, like transmuting negative energy inside people, releasing them from their karma and things like that. But yes, you definitely have a very curious mind. I think that's all of the spiritual careers that are coming through. You might be an amazing astrologer as well. Anything? I just heard like any type of ology, any type of study of something, even like zoology, studying animals or studying insects, or theology, studying gods. I feel like rather than a very scattered interest, I feel like you guys would be very good at, you know, having tunnel vision and focusing on one thing and like knowing everything that there is to know about it. You could become a very high level expert or high level specialist in something. And I could see you guys getting a very high level of certification that most people don't get, frankly, because they just don't have like the concentration power or the willpower or the passion towards something. Maybe you guys will even go on to have like a PhD or like a very high, seems like you have a very high qualification. I can see you guys getting some kind of very specialized certificate, if that makes sense. And yes, with death, I think this is a testament to your mediumship. And actually, regardless of what career you take, I do think that souls who have passed on can help you. So the example I'm being shown is like, let's say you're a lawyer and you're in a courtroom and you're prosecuting somebody. You might hear, oh, it's so like freaky when I think about it, but you're probably used to it if you have this ability. You might hear someone whispering in your ear, like, there's a hole in their story. Like, ask them this and then you will stump them. Or, you know, this, if someone's telling you a story, like a spirit will whisper to you, this person is lying. And so even if you're not in a career that is directly related to the dead or related to spirits, I think that they will definitely help you in your career. They will help you find answers. They will help you find solutions. They will help you to stump people or catch people. Or even if you're a therapist, like, these person's loved ones might be with you and saying like, oh, this person needs help with XYZ. And I think you guys get the picture. So this is really, really cool energy. Also, Scorpio is linked to Mars, and I'm just thinking about everything we said with the tiger's eye. There's a big lesson for you in this lifetime to just let your fire burn. And I think with that comes the ability and the willingness to be vulnerable. I think you guys have a lot of passion and fire, and even like anger keeps coming up, but not even in a bad way. Just like that type of fierceness you get when you want to protect something that you love. You have this loudness in you. You have this temper in you, this storm, and your spiritual team is saying it's beautiful, but it's like you guys feel ashamed of it, or you're afraid to express that part of yourself, because expressing raw, uninhibited, uncontrolled emotion like that, I think it makes you feel vulnerable. It makes you feel exposed. But your spiritual team is saying your life is going to be so much better when you just let that fire out, and when you let those flames consume you. Like, those flames are you. That passion is you. And when you suppress it, you're suppressing you. Whether you guys are aware of this or not, some of you guys might have lived up until now like quite quiet and reserved. I feel like some of you are consciously suppressing this, and some of you like have been doing it for so long that you might not even know that it's there. But there's a wild side to you. That's how I can put it. There's definitely a wild side to you that wants to come out. So we've spoken about cloves. I actually want to talk about this sound healing for a second. I think that regardless of what your career is, music is going to be very significant to you in some way. Actually, sound healing might be one of the spiritual healing practices that you could offer or that you could benefit from. I was more thinking of this as just plain old music when I saw it. So maybe some of you guys are musicians, whether that is as a hobby or as a career, or music could be a way to really let your passion out, like listening to music and just, jamming out and screaming along to the words, or going to a concert and like getting lost in the energy. That might be a nice outlet to let your fire come out, because it really does want to come out. If you guys are not the ones who are making the music, remember I was saying, I feel like this person could be someone you really admire and someone you really look up to. I feel like there is some musician in your life, whether you know them in person or not, who is going to be really instrumental, no pun intended, in like shaping who you are as a person. Something about the music that they make, something about the words they convey in their lyrics, or even just who they are as a person, what they talk about in interviews, what they stand for. Something about this musician is going to be very, very inspiring to you. And this activation that they have on you, again, this can happen whether you know them or not. This can happen whether you end up getting to meet them in person one day or not. Even if you never cross paths, I feel like they're going to leave a really significant imprint on your soul. And if you know who I'm talking about, and if you do want to meet them someday, I sincerely hope that you will get to do that. And I would even take that a step further and say that you can, if that is something that you really want to manifest, because you guys are incredibly powerful, as we have spoken about. I think you have a beautiful balance of feminine energy and masculine energy within you. This Scorpio-y, tiger's eye energy was coming out very masculine, but the healing energy and the moon maiden energy for me is quite feminine. I think that you guys have had past lives in many different forms, like male, female, human, not human, and you have such a beautiful spectrum of light within you, and your soul really wants all of those colors to be expressed in this lifetime. So moving on, we have this forgiveness card, and I'm kind of seeing two different ways to interpret this, but they're kind of related. One of them does have to do with your inner child, going back to your childhood. I'm wondering if this passion that was put on the back burner or was suspended or discouraged for some reason happened in your childhood. and you learning to become ashamed of your fire, your anger, your loudness, your passion. Like learning to become ashamed of that might have come from your childhood as well. And as you reclaim your power, I think with that might bubble up a sort of resentment, frustration, anger towards those who put you in that box, who silence you, who suppress you in the first place. And I do think that there will be a need to forgive them. And I always feel called to say this whenever any message about forgiveness comes up in a reading, but forgiveness is totally for you. It's not for the other person to say like what you did was acceptable, what you did was okay. It's so that you have the peace to move on and to not be burdened by that bitterness anymore. And again, we had this feeling of absence making the heart grow fonder, of learning to appreciate something once it has come back to you. I feel like once you do reclaim your power and reclaim your passion and your expression of raw emotion, like you will never lose that again, because you know what it's like to live without it, and you know just how special it is. You know just how valuable it is to you. And I think this whole experience has taught you to appreciate your power and appreciate your fire even more. So there will be a need for you to thank the universe, thank the people involved for the experience that you have, for the lesson that you learned, and now move forward in your full strength for your own sake, for your own inner peace. And then the other interpretation of this, which is, I think it's kind of related, it's pretty similar, but there was another card in a different group that kind of had the same vibe. This card is associated with the third eye chakra. As you can see, the indigo border, it indicates the third eye. And the third eye is all about seeing past the veil of illusion of the physical world and seeing the truth of the situation. And I think this is very similar to the way it came out in group 1, where the idea is when you see past the veil, you realize that we're all connected. So the veil of illusion is this illusion of separation, that I am me, you are you, we are two different entities, we are separate. When you use your third eye and you see the truth, you see we are all one. We are all extensions of the same source energy. I am you, you are me. If I hurt you, I hurt myself. If you hurt me, you hurt yourself. If I love you, I love myself. We are all connected in this way. We are all reflections of each other in this way. And I think that remembering this oneness is also something that really helps you not to harbor ill feelings or bitterness towards other people. You recognize them as an aspect of you. You recognize them as someone who is just doing their best, who is on their own journey. You recognize that we're just acting out roles in this lifetime to learn different things from each other, because ultimately the end goal is for the source we all came from to understand itself better. So by playing out our dynamics, we are both serving source, which is us. So we're all in it together. And this heightened sense of awareness, I think, can really help you guys to forgive and move on. And now this death is taking on a whole other meaning. It's like closure. It's like putting this pain to rest, closing the karmic cycles. And it ties in so beautifully with what we've seen with this new beginning. Like transformation is assured for you in this lifetime. New beginnings, fresh starts are assured for you. And I'm like kind of getting chills, because it's like you've let go of so much, or you will be letting go of so much, walking away from so much in this lifetime. But the ones, or the people, the things that are really meant for you are always going to find you again. They're always going to reignite. So you could literally walk away from everything and your love will still find you. Your passion will still find you. Your divine counterparts will still find you. Like it's, oh my gosh. Okay, let's move on to the tarot now. I just got really excited. There is some really happy union or reunion coming to you guys very, very, very soon. Whether that is like with your dream path, or a love connection or both. There's like a really exciting reunion, and your spiritual team is like, we've been working on it for such a long time and we didn't want to spoil the surprise. But the energy is just so exciting. So let's take a look at this tarot now and get a little bit more insight into who you're meant to be. So we have the Ace of Cups coming out. This was present in group 2's reading, and it's so funny because we have another number 1. So the ones are following you around again. And this is a new beginning in love. We have the Star. Group 2 got the Star as well. I don't know if you guys were drawn to group 2, but group 2 also got both of these. And now this is some Aquarius energy coming through. So we have Scorpio and Aquarius so far. This could also be Cancer, because Cancer is ruled by the moon. We have the Two of Pentacles, and look at the image. 2 people who mirror each other coming together. So, and stars make me think of divine counterparts as well. So I think that there's there's a divine counterpart union coming to you guys very soon. The last card is taking some time to come out. Okay, so the last card is taking a bit of time to come out, and I'm just paying attention to how the deck is acting. We've seen a lot of messages about an amazing breakthrough, an amazing new beginning, and your spiritual team is saying before this breakthrough comes, things are going to feel eerily quiet in your life. So if you guys have been going through a period where you feel kind of stuck, like things aren't really progressing, the energy just feels stagnant, and you're like, what's going on? Why is nothing moving in my life? This is kind of like the calm before the storm, so to speak. This is like the moment before everything pops off, before everything breaks through. So if you're going through a phase like that, that's definitely a sign. And I can even feel some of you guys like, okay, you've shown me 1111 like 87 times, but nothing is happening. Like, can you please show me something other than these numbers over and over again? Or like, why are you gonna keep showing me this if nothing's happening? I can hear your spirit guides giggling. They've been planning something. It's in the works. Oh my goodness, it really is taking a long time though. Divine timing is definitely at play in your life. You guys might feel frustrated sometimes not knowing what action to take. I'm getting Hanged Man, Pisces energy as well. And I think a lot of your life is just like, it's divine timing is at play. It's in the hands of fate. So that's going to be a really big lesson for you guys in this lifetime, is like learning not to freak out when things are slow or things are not moving or things are happening unexpectedly. And again, just remembering everything is happening for you. And that can definitely be a frustrating lesson to learn, but it's always one that you can look back and see the truth of. Like after you receive your blessings, you can look back and see for yourself how everything was playing out for you. With this presence message, which I don't think I spoke about before, I think also learning to enjoy the present moment is going to be a big lesson for you guys. And that's something that I find can be kind of hard when you have psychic abilities or when you're getting a lot of downloads about your future. When we start to get psychic insights about this beautiful future that lies ahead of us, it's very tempting to start living in that future, right? Like just pacing and anxiously waiting for those future blessings to come. And it's easy to forget that that future is secured for us. So we can live that future when we get there. But this present that we have right now, this is all we have, and we're not going to have this moment again. So let's enjoy the future when it gets here, and let's do everything that we can to enjoy the present moment now. because there is a way that you can create happiness in your present moment. I think that that's a big lesson for you guys, because we have the star, which is about like your future is very bright, your future is very promising, you're hoping for it, you're longing for it, you're fantasizing about it. But then we have presence, which is like literally being in the present moment. We have the Ace of Cups, which I think is talking about filling your own cup and finding ways to be happy here and now. So it didn't fall out, but I'm just going to mention I did see the Magician flip over. So I'm going to keep that in mind. Magician is also a number 1, by the way. Oh, okay. So finally, 2 cards popped out. And I love that, because the 4th card was taking such a long freaking time to come out of the deck. And then when it finally did, you got 2. So it's almost like this message of good things come to those who wait. You may feel like you have been made to wait for your blessings for a very long time, but once they do come, like they're multiplied. You're getting more than you ever wished for. Your future is everything that you have visualized, everything that you have imagined for yourself, and more. And what I see with the star so often is that every last thing is coming true, including those things that you felt were just like a silly, unrealistic dream. Maybe even things that you never took seriously or seriously wished for, because you're like, oh nah, that's just a crazy dream that I like to imagine for fun, or that I like to talk about, oh, I wish this could happen, but I know it never will. And your guides are saying, nope, we were listening. We were listening to you this whole time, and we were making a list of everything that you liked. We're bringing you everything. If you guys like crystals, if you collect your own crystals, I would really recommend you guys to hold on to Amazonite. This is a stone that can help you speak your wishes into existence and that can help you manifest. I also think that lapis lazuli and sodalite would like you guys very much, and also celestite or celestine, or however you say it. Okay, so what we have together is the 2 of Swords and the 8 of Swords. Interesting cards to come out together. I've kind of been reading throughout the groups, like I've been reading this as a chunk and I've been reading this as a chunk. So I think that I'm going to keep going with that style. But yes, we've spoken a little bit about the star here. I think that this is really talking about all of your wildest dreams coming true in your future. I am remembering the Magician that flipped over, and actually, I'm just going to sift through the deck as I'm talking and see if I can find it, because it would be really nice to have him here. Maybe he wanted to come out, but I just didn't grab him fast enough. But we've definitely seen that a purpose of your life is to discover and develop your spiritual abilities. And I think that one of those is your amazing ability to manifest your desires. I want to tell you guys that you can manifest every last thing that you want in this lifetime. And I think that claiming your power and claiming your fire is really going to help you do that. There he is. It's really going to help you do that. But what might be a challenge is learning to do that dance with the universe, as I like to call it. So, knowing what action to take and taking that action and then saying, I've done everything that I can, and now I'm gonna step back and wait for the universe to take its turn. And then the universe is gonna come back to me and present me an opportunity, and I'll go from there and take an action from there. That's like the dance with the universe that I talk about. And that's pretty hard, and it takes a lot of trust to do that dance well. It takes a lot of trust in yourself, and it takes a lot of trust in the universe, because you have to trust the universe to accept your request, to go off, to orchestrate the things that you want, and know like, okay, I don't need to interfere. The universe is doing its thing right now, and then come back with the next opportunity. And it also takes a lot of confidence to recognize those opportunities as yours. Just actually jumping over to the 2 of Swords and the 8 of Swords, something has happened in your childhood's group 3. Like something has happened to stifle your energy and to make you question yourself. It's like when you were very young, you were so sure of yourself. You were so sure of what you wanted. When you wanted something, you expressed it, and you expressed it loudly. And when you liked something or didn't like something, you asserted yourself. And it's like someone or something, whether it was like people in your life or just society, something like withered away your confidence in yourself, where it reached a point where it's like, I don't know how I feel. I don't know what I want. I don't know what's good for me. And when you're in that kind of confused energy, it makes it really, really hard to be this magician. The Eight of Swords is about like a lack of confidence, and the Two of Swords is about indecision or unwillingness or inability to take action. And this might be a karmic cycle that you're ending. I think that you guys have had some pretty painful past lives where like your life was stripped away from you. That's how it's coming to me. Like your hopes and dreams were crushed before they even had the chance to see the light of day. I'm also getting a message like some of you guys were wrongfully accused of something in this lifetime or in your past lifetime, and that's really like messed with you. And if you guys are really interested in like crime and investigating or going into legal things, it might be because of past life where you were treated unfairly in the justice system, and your soul wants redemption or doesn't want that to happen to anybody else. But that's an odd, like very specific message that came through. But I feel like there's been this pattern in your lifetimes of your identity, your true passion being stripped away from you, or people causing you to doubt yourself. Like they just keep talking at you so much until you question your own reality or you question what you really want. And you know, that fire gets suppressed more and more, but as it's getting suppressed more and more, it's also growing. And I can't wait for the moment when you finally unleash this fire on the world and just give a huge F you to the world who has like withered your confidence and claim that back. But yes, it's hard to be the magician when you're dealing with this mental turmoil, because the swords has to do with not mental turmoil, but the swords has to do with our mentality, with the Two of Swords and the Eight of Swords. I'm gonna put these together actually, because you're meant to break through this so that you can be this, so that you can be the magician, so that you can trust the universe again, trust yourself again. Sometimes I see this in readings, and there is a theory that like our relationship with spirit or our relationship with the universe can somehow be modeled off the relationship with our parents, if that's the right way to say it. Like we could project our early relationships onto our relationship with spirit. So for an example of what I'm seeing here, like if you guys have trouble trusting that the universe will listen to you and meet your needs, that may be due to an early relationship that you had with somebody who was not really trustworthy, who didn't really listen to you, who didn't really meet your needs. And again, like always made you question what you were saying. Like, is that what you really want? Is that how you really feel? And by this continuous badgering, finally you're like, no, that's not what I really want. Or actually, you're right. I don't know what I really want. Maybe you should just take the lead. And through this kind of dynamic, it's like, I feel really angry for you. It's like your agency, or that awareness that you have agency, was stripped away. And I almost feel like tears could come out of my face right now, but I just feel angry. And I don't know if I've ever really gotten super angry when I'm doing a reading before. So like this is something else. And so when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to your relationship with the universe, it's like, I guess I'm just passive, and whatever life gives to me is what I'll take. And I don't really know what I want, and I don't really know what I should do. And your purpose in this lifetime is to claim that back and be like, no, bitch, look, you are the star of your life. You are the main character. You're the boss. You're the lead, and the audience is here for you. You're saying, I love the magician so much that I have him on my arm, and I need to remind myself of this. Like, anything is possible. You can do whatever You can do whatever it is your heart desires. And you know what that is. Deep down, you know what that is. But maybe you're afraid to let that come out. You're afraid to access it, or you've just been told over and over that you don't know what it is, or you don't want those things. So in this lifetime, you're unlearning all of this bullshit. And I'm throwing them away. I don't even want them here anymore. I don't even want to look at them. And you're becoming this magician again. You're taking your magic back. And I mean, I put them like this, I think, but I really like these two ones together, and I like the Ace of Cups next to the Magician, because the Ace of Cups is all about loving yourself and filling your own cup. And I said before, the Ace of Cups is like a new beginning in love. And I think this new beginning starts with an immense love for yourself that is just going to spill out over into everything that you do. So, okay. These cards have really changed places throughout the course of this reading, haven't they? So next we have the Star and we have the Two of Pentacles. So it's so interesting that we were talking about like someone you look up to, and I was saying like, oh, you might meet them, you might not, you might know them in person, you might not, because here I see two people coming together as equals. Like that's what the Two of Pentacles means to me in this deck, because they're mirroring each other, they each have a pentacle, so they're each, you know, bringing equal value into the partnership, they're standing on the same level. And then the Star, which is about promising future, even your craziest, wildest dreams can come true. The camera literally just said 44, 44. So just saying. And we've been talking, oh my God, we've been talking in this whole reading about like the 4 has appeared a couple times. And for me, like even death is a number 4 card. Even though this isn't the Death Tarot card, death is a number 4 card. In this reading in particular, 4 is totally talking about divine order and fate. So there's definitely a fated encounter here with somebody. You might feel like it's too good to be true that I could be on their level. It's too good to be true that I could come together with them, that I could be in union with them. This is someone you admire a lot, and that maybe at times you have put on a pedestal. But look, there's 2 pedestals in the Star card, and they are equal. They're of the same stature. So someone you have really looked up to, or someone you felt it's too good to be true to be with them, in this lifetime you are coming together as equals. And actually, because this is a reading about life purpose, we have the Star card here, which can talk about light work, humanitarian efforts, and we have the Two of Pentacles, which in this case, because there's 2 people coming together, this can talk about collaboration, because Pentacles is like your work, your career, your projects. So this could be like a dream collaboration happening, or this person you're coming into union with, you have some humanitarian mission or light work mission that you are going to fulfill with them, which is really, really cool. I think that's everything that I have for the tarot. So I keep getting waves of, it's a roller coaster. Like I get a wave of excitement, I get a wave of bliss, I get a wave of anger. This life might really feel like a roller coaster for you, and just in general, you guys might be the type to really feel your emotions intensely, and I think that's something that you should never be ashamed of. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the Universal Oracle cards. This is a deck that was created by and sent to me by a subscriber. So if you guys like this deck and you want to support them, this deck, as well as all of these, will be linked in the description. We have completion. Oh my gosh. We were saying like this is the incarnation where you're closing off karmic cycles, where you're getting closure, where you're finding forgiveness, where you're finding peace of mind, and you're stepping into a brand new beginning. I love this red glowing image that is totally speaking of your passion. And we have ending, results, and rewards. I think that you guys are reaping some amazing karma in this lifetime. Completion also makes me think of the world. It makes me think of fulfillment. It makes me think of accomplishment. I mean like the world in tarot, just in case that wasn't clear. So You guys are going to be highly accomplished people, like we spoke about before, highly regarded, highly certified, highly qualified as well. And I think you're going to be very respected. We also, cycle. Yeah, literally, the completion of a cycle. The letter C might be significant in some way. We have completion, cycle, which all start with C, clove, cinnamon, repetition, patterns, phases. Yeah, so some unfavorable patterns are coming to an end for you in this lifetime. That message is clear as day. Okay, so next we are going to take a couple cards from the Creative's Compass deck. This is also a deck that was created by and sent to me by a subscriber. So again, if you guys like this one and want to support them, there will be a link in the description. Both of these have been really amazing decks to use. We have why, no judgment, but would this still matter to you if no one else consumed it? Please say yes. So this is obviously talking about a creative project, but I'm expanding this meaning to the work that you do in general, as well as who you are as a person. So what this card is saying is that your opinion matters the most. And would the work that you do, like you guys are getting a lot of acclaim, like don't get me wrong, you're getting a lot of admiration, you're getting a lot of acclaim, you're getting a lot of success. But this card is asking you, oh, okay, I get it. Would this matter to you if you didn't have all of that? Would you still love it if you didn't have all of that? This goes back to the reignite card, because there you had something that you loved unconditionally, and it didn't matter what anybody else thought of it. It didn't matter what you got out of it. It didn't matter about the payback or the accolades or whatever else. It was just you being in the moment, being present. It was you getting lost in the emotion, getting lost in your passion. It was just for you, getting lost in your own world. That's why you loved it so much. And if you've tried to move on to other things that weren't your passion, you can come back to this why. I love that this is green, by the way, because it's reminding me of the heart chakra. But with other things that you could take on, it's like, would you still care about this if, you know, if this wasn't like a respectable job? Would you still care about this if it didn't make your parents happy? Would you still care about this if, do you know what I mean? And probably the answer is no. And it means you're not in it for the right reasons. And again, I feel called to add the relationship interpretation to this as well. Like if you met the love of your life, but then you got separated and you ended up with someone else and you're like, yeah, like this person has a good job and my family really likes them and it's practical, it makes sense. And this card is asking the why again. Like, would you still want this relationship if everybody else was out of the picture? Like if your family was out of the picture, if their family was out of the picture, if their status was out of the picture, would you still have passion for this person standing before you? It's like you've masked your passion with all of these other practical things. Like, I'm doing this because it's the practical thing and it makes sense in this and that way. This card is asking you to strip it down and ask yourself, is your heart in it? If you were with this person in a vacuum where the rest of the world didn't exist, would you still be there? If you were doing this activity in a vacuum where nobody was watching you and nobody was evaluating your work and paying you for it, would you still want to do it for yourself? I'm not saying you should want to work without getting paid, but the hypothetical example of like, if you were the only person in the world, you know what I mean? Anyway, so let's get one more. Okay, we have catharsis. Not always the point, but often an outcome. Catharsis, that's like a huge release of emotions. And this card saying not always the point, but often an outcome. It's like a catharsis that you weren't expecting, a catharsis that you weren't planning to do. I can see you guys having what would you call it? Unexpected emotional outbursts. I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys where you're doing something or you're listening to somebody talk, you're listening to music, whatever it might be, and you just start crying your eyes out. This has happened to me a couple times and it's like just something in the energy of the situation maybe triggered a past memory or triggered a past life memory. Something reminded you of your counterpart, something reminded you of your past life, something reminded you of a wound. And you weren't expecting that to happen, but all of a sudden it's just pouring out and you can't stop it. It's like, I didn't go into this activity thinking, I'm going to heal, I'm going to access my past wounds, but that is what ends up happening. So if you guys have any sudden outbursts like that, I think this is kind of a common symptom when you're purging energy or when you're going through a spiritual awakening. Pay attention to what you were doing when that happened and see if you can try to sit with that feeling instead of just being like, oh, it's just a random outburst. Like, see if you can sit with it and see what your soul is trying to tell you. Okay. We're moving on to the final deck. This is the Starseed deck, and we're going to get some last messages for you. Oh, Starseed, very literal. Raise the vibration of the planet through your radiant, loving light. So you guys might resonate with being a starseed or just kind of feeling different, feeling like you're not from here, feeling kind of unfamiliar with Earth or unfamiliar with Earthlings, with humans, which actually, oh, that makes sense because you had this energy of like investigating very deeply and coming to understand the human mind very, very well. And this is another one of those absence makes the heart grow fonder situations. It's like if you came into this world feeling confused by humans and how their minds work, that's going to make you even more curious than the average person, or that's going to make you work even more harder to understand them, so that at the end of the day, you actually have a deeper understanding than someone who has a pretty good understanding and then never thought of digging deeper. You actually have a very, very powerful gift of reading human minds, of understanding human psychology, because the weirdness of it, because the feeling of, what? I don't understand this, like drove you to really dive deep into it. Oh, sorry, I forgot to read this. We have Gaia, connect to the pulse of Mother Earth. She will guide you through this time of change. So feeling comfortable in the present moment is a big one for you guys, but also feeling comfortable on Earth. It's very interesting that we have Starseed and Gaia coming through here because it may be very difficult for you as a Starseed to feel at home on this earth, to feel familiar on this earth. And the message for you here is not to run away from planet Earth and not to run away from its people, and recognize that this earth is your home. For now, as long as you are in this body living this life, this earth is your home and you deserve to feel comfortable here. She's welcoming you with open arms. And I think when you have this really, I keep coming back to this Scorpio card, when you have this really strong connection to the spirit world and you feel more familiar there, I think it can be tempting to run away to it and get lost in that world. But Mother Gaia is calling you back, and I think a part of your purpose is to feel at home in your physical body, is to feel at home on this earth. And the more you embody this magician energy, and the more you feel like you have power on this earth and that the world responds to you, that the world embraces you and listens to you, that's going to become more and more easy. Also with Mother Earth here and with humanitarian efforts, some of you guys might be into environmental initiatives, if that's what you would call it, like environmentalist, saving the planet or saving the animals. And then we're going to get one more to put up here, and that will be like the cherry on top of this reading. Ah, celebration! Celebrate your achievements. You truly are a gift to the universe. There is a massive celebration coming, a massive breakthrough like we've spoken about before, and you guys should be so proud of yourself. A moment is coming in your very near future that will feel like a huge weight lifted as you explode, as you come out of your shell, as you reclaim who you are. And I know that you cannot see my face, but I'm smiling like, oh, I'm so excited for this group. I think so far, this could be the group that has really been dealt a tough hand, or that has really been going through it in this life. And there's been a lot of ups and downs, but I'm so excited for you guys, and I'm so excited for what's to come. We had so many repeated messages of new beginning, of manifestation, and we had so many repeating message of you guys being destined for blessings and abundance and a really happy union coming to you guys with the Star and the Two of Pentacles. I wonder if you guys already know like what this is referring to. If so, please let me know. If it's referring to this person or somebody else. Could be multiple as well, multiple unions coming in, but these are all the messages that I'm seeing for you guys. So I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, sending your spiritual team lots of love, as well as your counterparts, whoever that might be, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number fours. So if you guys chose this crisscrossy clear quartz, this is going to be a reading all about your life purposes and who you are meant to be in this lifetime. So we're going to start off this reading with a whole bunch of oracle cards. I have 8 cards here, and as you guys might know, this is quite a bit more than I would usually work with at once, but for some reason today I just really felt called to like lay them all out, and we'll take a look at all of them together. So the first card that we have for you is Rosemary with Memories. We have Rewriting the Subconscious, and on the other side, the more I embrace feeling good, the less often I will feel bad. We have Uranus with Change. Energy. Soulmate. Turmeric. The trigger statement is, it is too late. The true statement is, I am free to believe. And we have the messages, belief, and you are clearing away beliefs, energy, and memories that no longer serve you, so the necessary decisions will be made. We also have energy work. And finally, Eye of the Needle with Intentionality. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to look at, which I have been doing for all of the groups, is just look at the beings, including humans and animals, that are on these cards, as well as the numbers and the zodiac signs. So for the beings, I am only seeing humans in this group. There are a few animals on this card, but I haven't been including them as like interpretations of potential spirit animals because they're on every single card in this deck. But in terms of humans, we of course have this human here on the energy work card. I do think that this could very much be representing you, but it could also be a healer, an energy worker, or a psychic who is going to be very, very significant in your life. Maybe like a spiritual mentor, psychic advisor who is going to play a big role in your spiritual journey and awakening. We also have soulmate, which is pretty straightforward. There is a very significant soulmate who is coming through and is going to be very formative or transformative for you in this lifetime. And then this isn't really a being, but we do have an eye here. This could be speaking about your higher self, or it could be just speaking about beings in the higher realms who are helping you. But this is kind of like a loving being who is not necessarily taking on a physical form or who is incarnate on this earth. So you could think of this as your whole spiritual team or a specific spirit guide that you really resonate with. But your relationship, I was going to say your relationship with the heavens, your relationship with the soul world, I think is going to be very, very important for you in this lifetime. In terms of zodiacs, the only one that I'm possibly seeing is Aquarius with this Uranus card here. So if you guys have any Aquarius placements in your birth chart, and I've been saying this for every group, and it's only if you feel called to and if you want to, if you look deeper into what your Aquarius placements represent, it could give you some very valuable insights on your calling in this lifetime and the energy that your soul wanted to embody in this lifetime. And actually, some of you guys watching this might be in the like Uranus in Aquarius generation, which, if I'm not mistaken, is like late 90s-ish onwards. I think that's the generation that would have their natal Uranus in Aquarius. But if you don't have any placements in Aquarius, it could be that there is a very significant person in your life who will be in Aquarius. So maybe this soulmate or this spiritual mentor or healer, if you were resonating with that interpretation. And so now let's also take a look at the numbers that we have here. So on the Uranus card, we have 25. And actually something that I didn't really feel called to say in other groups, but I do feel called to say for you guys, is that these could be significant ages in your lifetime, like where something really groundbreaking or life-changing happens. So we have the age of 17. This card has the number 17 on it. We have the number 22 on energy work and the number 25. So when you are these ages, these could be times where some really, really significant life events are happening for you, or some significant awakenings. Maybe you're meeting a very significant person, or being introduced to your calling during these ages. But if we analyze these numbers from a numerological standpoint, we have the number 25 here. I'm thinking this is talking about transformative partnerships, because we have the number 2, which makes me think of love, relationships, partnerships. We have the number 5, which talks about change, development, growth. It can even talk about spiritual advancement. And just especially the fact that we have this soulmate card here, it looks like there's some really important spiritual connection for you guys in this lifetime that is going to lead to a lot of personal growth and advancement. And then we also have the number 22, which is an angel number that often talks about soulmates, that often talks about relationships, love, union. So this is like a really big theme for you guys, more so than the other groups. And then we have the number 17, which makes me think of new blessings coming in, even new miracles coming into your life. If we add up the digits of 17, this equals to 8, which for me is, again, like abundance, blessing, good luck. So I have to tell you guys, there are very many blessings coming to you in your future, even if it's hard to see that now. I think it's really interesting that we have energy work, and then we also have change energy, like these two cards coming out next to each other. I think that when it comes to your life purposes, the stuff that you guys dream about for your future and the things that you naturally like are already very much in alignment with your life purpose, whether that is a hobby that you're currently enjoying, a career that you are currently pursuing, or even just something that you distantly dream about. Even if you haven't taken any action towards it just yet, or haven't even conceived of it being possible for you, the things that you dream about are very telling of your life purpose. And I also feel called to add that this could mean whether you are daydreaming about them or night dreaming about them. Pay attention to your night dreams as well, because they could show you what is meant to be in your life, who is meant to be in your life, who you're meant to be, where you're meant to be. I think you guys are very, very tapped in to your divine wisdom with this eye of the needle, because I was thinking of this as like your divine support, your divine wisdom. I also want to add that the things that make you weird, for lack of a better word, the things that make you weird, the things that make you unique, will probably have to do with your calling and your life purpose as well. Now, for some of you guys, I am getting the feeling that you've been made to feel bad about what makes you weird, or you've come to be insecure about what makes you weird. And maybe weird is not the right word, but unusual, eccentric. Maybe weird is like your wording or what people have called you for being different, because it's almost like you view these things that set you apart from the rest with a negative connotation. And a big lesson for you in this lifetime is learning that what sets you apart and what makes you different is actually your greatest advantage. And I know that being different from the rest can be quite lonely at times, but I want you guys to know that there are other, I feel bad that I keep saying the word weird, but that's just like the word that is coming to me. There are other weirdos out there. There are other people who get you. There are other people who understand you. And I think a big lesson for you in this lifetime is learning to celebrate your weirdness and not to hide it, and to actually see it as your gift, as your strength, to use it to your advantage. If you have something that makes you different from everybody else, that means there are things that you can do that other people can't do. There are perspectives that you can see that other people can't see. And that's very, very special. There may have been people who have knocked you down before with varying levels of aggression. You know, it can go anywhere from like an indirect, passive, offhanded comment to like literally berating you for being different. But I feel like you guys have come to suppress what makes you unique. And when I look at this card of memories, I think that this is what it's referring to, because the biggest vibe that I got from you guys is that your life purpose is to realize all of your dreams. And you can realize all of your dreams, but there needs to be a major change in your energy. And there needs to be a major change in your mindset. This card talks about clearing away beliefs and, oh my God, I just noticed, memories. This card also talks about clearing away memories that no longer serve you. So the necessary decisions will be made so that you can move forward and achieve your dreams. There are some painful memories for this group that are holding you back. There are painful memories that stop you from letting that unique person come out, because you're afraid of rejection, you're afraid of judgment, you're afraid of abandonment. It's these kind of memories that need to be released, and it's these kind of beliefs that will need to be unlearned so that you can move forward towards your calling. And I want to talk about this card now. And it's interesting, on the other side it talks about rewriting the subconscious, because it's very much that. But I was more so drawn to this message. The more I embrace feeling good, the less often I will feel bad. And honestly, the first time I saw this card, I was like, yeah, no, duh. It's like the more I feel good, the less I will feel bad. Like, it seems so obvious, like it's not even worth saying. But when I sat with the meaning of this card more, not all of us can embrace feeling good, because in order to embrace feeling good, you need to feel worthy of feeling good. You need to feel worthy of having nice things. And I think a big life purpose for you is just to feel good and to reclaim your ability to create the life that you want and enjoy yourself and have nice things. And there's some memories that you are holding on to that I think make you feel like you can't. It's almost like if the universe were to hand you the opportunity to feel good, the opportunity to be happy, the opportunity to be blessed, it's like programmed into you that like, no, this isn't for me. Like, everybody can enjoy their life, but not me. Everybody can have nice things, but not me. I get that kind of energy from this group. And if you are resonating with that, I really, really feel for you. And I know what that is like. It's that feeling of like judging yourself very, very harshly, but then judging others very kindly, as if somehow you are the one exception. Like, we all deserve to be happy. Oh no, not me though. Like, I think that this group could kind of struggle with low self-esteem, or struggle with feelings of worthiness, and like embracing feeling good, embracing happiness, like this card says. And this is reminding me a lot of, it was actually this post I saw on Instagram recently, and I took a screenshot of it because I just liked it so much. It's from Jenna Zoe, which highly recommend following their page. It's not about feeling deserving. I'm reading from the post now, so this is not my words. It's Jenna Zoe's words. It's not about feeling deserving of your dreams. It's about understanding the very function of a human is to turn the metaphysical into the physical, so turn ideas into reality. Just the fact that you're here means it's built into how you're designed. So don't wait till you feel special enough to feel worthy of creating your dream. Instead, remember, it's the most innate ability that you never ever have to earn or prove. And then the caption basically goes on to say, like, this idea of deserving something or feeling worthy of something, we need to get rid of the idea that, like, being worthy means that we have done something special to earn that. Like, I'm not worthy of my dreams because I'm not XYZ enough. Like, I need to heal more. I need to accomplish this first, and then I will deserve my happiness. And what this post is getting at is that being deserving of your dreams is inherent. Like, you could have nothing, you could be a nobody in your eyes and still be deserving of happiness, because like the post is talking about, creating your ideas into a reality, creating the metaphysical into the physical, that is your function as a human. That is your function as a divine creator. That's a right that is built into you. It's not something that you need to earn or that you need to prove. And I think our society likes to teach us, like, you need to be exceptional to deserve special things, and you need to earn your happiness. You need to struggle and you need to succeed to get your happiness. But it's right here, and it's ready for you. And you guys might have some amazing goals that you reach in this lifetime, but I almost want to tell you that, like, your purpose is not to reach these goals and to prove yourself. Your purpose is to remember the divine creator that you are, and remember that worthiness was always within you. It wasn't something that you had to attain. And this idea that you're not worthy and you need to change to become worthy is like the biggest scam, the biggest scam of this earth. You already deserve to feel good. You already deserve to manifest the things that you want. And I will say it again because I think it's very important. The things that you guys are naturally gravitated to, the things that you naturally love and fantasize about, those are related to your calling. Even the ones that seem crazy and outlandish to you. I think it's really interesting that you guys have Uranus, because Uranus is like the higher octave of Mercury. So it's like Mercury, but I don't know if bigger, more powerful is the right way to put it. But when we think of Mercury as representing our intellect and our thoughts, I think of Uranus as representing like our downloads, our psychicness, our divine insights. And you guys are very psychically tapped in, and you're not drawn to the things you're drawn to by mistake. You don't dream about the things you dream about by mistake. You are literally being fed this from your higher self. And I feel this so strongly compared to the other groups. What you feel drawn to is not a mistake. And I would literally write this on a chalkboard like 100 times for you. Or no, I would make you write it on a chalkboard so that you can internalize it. Like, what I'm drawn to is not a mistake. What I dream about is not a mistake. I think you guys see yourself as like, I'm seeing someone like pressed up against the glass, looking in at their dreams, almost thinking like, oh, that is such a beautiful world. Look at all those cool people. I wish that I could join in with them. And your higher self is like, man, you're already in that room. You already deserve to be in that room. It's like you guys see yourself as an outsider looking in. And maybe that has to do with you being made to feel like you are different. But what your higher self is saying is like, this room could really benefit from your uniqueness. This room would really celebrate your uniqueness. Like, get in there and shake things up. It's what you want to do, and it's what you deserve. I'm hearing like the next 2 to 3 years for you guys are going to be very fulfilling. And this is really when you're going to see the tables. Like, it might even be starting now, but I feel like it's this process over time where you see the tables are really starting to turn, where the very things that you felt insecure about, you're now realizing that it's your greatest asset, and you're surrounded by people who love that weirdness, who celebrate what makes you different. and you realize that you were never like objectively wrong in any way. It was only ever like in the eye of the beholder, and you are the beholder that matters the most. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about this soulmates that we have going on here. I think it's really interesting that we have energy next to soulmate. I do feel that for most of you, this is not somebody that you've met in the 3D yet. You could know who they are. You could have had some interactions with them virtually, online, or even in the astral, for example. But it seems like it's like you haven't met in the 3D yet, or maybe your 3D interactions are just very, very limited. Because what I feel with energy next to it is that this connection is still very much like energetic potential. It hasn't really reached a physical form yet, so to speak. And I think a lot of your communication with this soulmate is still in the 5D. Now, some of you guys, and this will only be if you resonate with it, so please don't panic if you don't resonate with this. For some of you, this might be a soulmate who is not incarnated on Earth right now. And I just say this because I do know a few people who feel this very strongly. They're like they will say from themselves, I know that my soulmate is not here on this Earth, but I can still feel them energetically. So if you resonate with that, that can definitely be a confirmation. If you don't, please don't worry about it. That's just for a select few of you. And for most, I do think this is someone who is incarnated on Earth. You just haven't like come together yet. And again, with that Uranus energy, you might have a lot of very sudden communications and sudden downloads. When you first get acquainted with this soulmate's energy, it could be very, very jarring. Like all of a sudden their voice is coming through. All of a sudden their thoughts are coming through. It doesn't really seem like your higher selves are easing into this connection. It kind of seems like you're thrown into it, and it feels very intense. And you're like, your higher selves are like, okay, figure this out. Here's your connection. Figure this out. Here's a bunch of downloads. Figure this out. And maybe you're being activated by this soulmate during these ages, like 17, 22, 25. And that could be a kind of chaotic and confusing time of your life where you're questioning a lot of things, because I think as a humanity, as a race, as a human race, we're still not very good at accepting the things that we cannot see or that are not tangible, and really embracing the things that are going on in other realms. Oh my gosh, I might need to read this one from the guidebook, because the card that's right next to it, the trigger statement is "it is too late," and the true statement is "I'm free to believe." And there's this feeling of something not being too late. There's this feeling of, okay, I need to read, it's the soulmate card from the guidebook, because I'm remembering, I forget which video it was, but I was watching one of ASO's videos and this soulmate card came out, and she read it from the guidebook, and it was like, holy shit, like that message really stayed with me. Okay, I found it. So the legend of this card: it is time for him to leave her again, to use the script he always does at this point. He even knows her next line. She will say, "How can you do this to me?" But unexpectedly she says, "I love you." The words of the script die on his tongue. He struggles to get them out. Just a few words and he will be free. But they won't come. Suddenly he clasps her to him. He loves her. This is the true freedom he sought. It's like someone preparing themselves for the end, but then receiving the compassion that they need to hold on. And I was just thinking of, I think that in this case, there's like a him and a her in this story. And I think that you guys are the him in this case, regardless of your gender or if you feel like a masculine or feminine. I just think that in this legend, you're taking on the role of the him, where you're like, yeah, I know this story. I'm going to expose my weirdness to you, and you're going to judge me for it, or you're going to leave. You're not going to be able to handle it. And just when you think she is going to go along with the script, she says, "I love you." Just when you thought like it was time for you to leave, you get met with love and you get met with acceptance. Oh my gosh. Okay, I just noticed something about this like Aquarius-y energy. I'm thinking of like the outsider and rebellion energy of Aquarius. You guys might have adopted this persona of like you're a loner or you're a black sheep or you don't need love or you don't need friends or you're fine on your own or people are just going to disappoint you. And I feel like this is a coping mechanism so that you don't feel lonely. It's almost like if you were honest with yourself about your craving for connection, that would be too painful. So you put up this wall, like you don't need this connection, and you might even, and I'm not judging you for this because we all have a little bit of judgmental in us. And this is something like I've done as well at some points in my life. When I felt weird, when I felt unacceptable, I would like flip it like, I'm too good for all of them. But really it was like, please accept me. I feel not good enough for you. But it felt better for my ego to say like, oh, I'm not friends with them because I'm too good for them. Or it made dealing with the loneliness better. So maybe you guys have dealt with something kind of similar where it's like you turn them away before they can turn you away. You get them before they can get you. Oh no, I don't need them. I'm up here on my level. When deep down, you really want to be close to them. You really want to vibe with them. You really want to be in their circle. And so it's like with this soulmate, you're preparing to do the whole spiel of like, yeah, it's time for me to go because like I'm just a misfit, I'm just free bird, I'm just a rebel and I'm gonna go live my life. And then she, the soulmate, responds with, I love you. And you're like, well, shit. Like, it just hits your heartstrings in a different way. And you realize this feeling of acceptance was what I was craving all along. Like, this is the true freedom. This is the true freedom he sought. I think that this connection is helping you to break a cycle in your life of being afraid of rejection, being afraid of abandonment. So you preemptively shut yourself out in this attempt at like a get them before they get me kind of thing. This soulmate is breaking your walls down and making you face head on your craving for connection and your craving for acceptance. And you will be accepted so lovingly and so wholeheartedly. I'm getting a message for a specific few of you as well, that this thing that makes you like different or that's hard to be accepted, it could have something to do with like mental health or something to do with the way your mind works that is like just hard for other people to understand. And you're being met with that patience, that willingness to see from your point of view, that willingness to understand and to work with you through your mental struggles. This card is saying like, if you guys have felt outcast, if you guys have felt lonely, if you guys have felt doomed, it's not too late. With a change in your energy, with a change in your mindset, with embracing feeling good, which is not an easy task, but I think this is a big part of your purpose. To say, I deserve my spot here on this earth just as much as anybody else. My weirdness deserves a spot here just as much as everybody else's normalness. And everybody has a weirdness within them as well that deserves to come out. It's not too late. It's not too late to claim love again, to choose love again. It's not too late to choose your blessings again. It's not too late to take action on your dreams either. There was that feeling for this group that some of your dreams seem distant or not very realistic. And maybe part of that is just feeling that, at this point, it's too late to take action towards them. Maybe if I'd done something this many years ago, I could be living my dream life, but it's a thing of the past now. And your guides are saying like, well, man, you're still on this earth. You're still breathing. Your heart's still beating. Go for it. It's never too late. As long as you're here on this earth, it's never too late. And if this is someone that like you've been in separation with, it's not too late. It's not too late to change your script. It's not too late to break the pattern. With this energy work card here, I think that very many of you could actually benefit from energy work done by a professional. Of course, you can do it on your own through meditations or even like guided things. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube that you can watch or listen to while you meditate. There's remote energy healing that is done as well. But if you guys feel called to, I was feeling that this is like a very specific person who might help you in your healing, like a specific healer, a specific psychic that you'll develop a bond with. Like if you guys, for example, at the time you're watching this video, and actually I'm one of these people, I've been thinking like, man, I really want to invest in, you know, going to a professional and getting a past life regression done. But I just haven't gotten around to it. Maybe this is like your sign if you've been thinking about like going to get Reiki done, going to get a past life regression done, going to get theta healing done. Whatever it is, this is like your sign. Yes, go for it. This could be very, very helpful in removing blockages, in helping you to release these memories that are holding you back, to help you make peace with any people who were involved in perpetuating the suppression of your uniqueness. But also, maybe some of you guys feel like at this point your energy is too like messed up, or you'll never be able to heal, or you'll always live with this mental struggle. And these cards are saying that it's always possible for you to have a fresh start. There will be some things for you guys that maybe you have given up on healing that can heal for you, whether that is like a mental struggle, a physical struggle, like a physical condition. There is an opportunity for healing. And then finally, we have the Eye of the Needle with intentionality. Oh, you know what I just noticed? I didn't notice this before, but here we have all 7 of the chakras, and then here we have 1, 7. So it's making me think of like 1 to 7, from the root chakra to the crown chakra. You're getting all of your energy centers aligned. I feel a total energetic 180 in this group. I think there's a lot of things that you guys want to do with your life, but that you haven't really examined closely because of this idea, like, I wouldn't be able to do it anyway. It's not realistic anyway. More than anything, I think this card is really, really calling you guys to start paying attention to your dreams and really start thinking about how you can make them a reality. And that might require you to have a little bit of tunnel vision to really, really focus on them. This could be calling you guys to research the things that you dream about, to research the things that you are drawn to, because there is a way to make them real. It just requires focus. And I think focus can be really difficult when you have limiting beliefs, because if you hold that thought in your mind for too long, eventually your limiting belief is going to come in and say like, okay, enough of this. This is silly. Like it's just a silly daydream. Let it pass. But these cards are encouraging you. And yes, it's about reprogramming or rewriting your subconscious, getting into the habit of holding on to your dream and visualizing it and focusing on it for long periods of time and entertaining that idea without being like, okay, this is silly. Let's just drop this. Really see yourself in that desired reality. With this image here, this might be something that you guys want to do through meditation. This could be referring to your third eye as well. I think this is a practice that could be really beneficial for you. And also, in addition to doing this for your future, you guys can visualize your past as well. Bring yourself back into your past where you had those painful memories and visualize it going a different way. We can retrain our subconscious mind to remember things differently. So let's say you were getting bullied as a kid, but you didn't really know how to stand up for yourself and you didn't really have the confidence at that time. So you just took what the bully was saying to heart and you didn't defend yourself. You can go back as the version of you that you are now and like rewrite that memory that you told the bully off, that you, well, no, let's not get violent, but that you told the bully to fuck off. And it doesn't mean that you suddenly believe that's what happened, but putting yourself in that situation and visualizing it and acting it out from a first person perspective, it gives you the closure that you need to move on, and it gives you that catharsis, and it lets your inner child know, like that past version of you know, like everything is okay because the present me can protect you now. So it brings a resolution to that memory, like going back and seeing it differently. So that might be something that you guys would like to do as well. But again, it's totally if you feel called to. So let's move into the tarot part of this reading now and get more information about who you were meant to be. Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands. I love that. I love that for you guys. That almost, I could literally cry if I sat with that card. We have the Emperor. So you guys have angels around you. The numbers 1 and 4 together means you have angels around you. Or this is like my code for angels are in the building. Particularly feeling Archangel Metatron, which is interesting because he doesn't, I don't feel him around me that much. Literally have the soulmate card coming through and it goes right under the soulmate. And we have Judgment. Okay, so in addition to, we spoke about Aquarius energy, we also have Aries energy here with the Emperor, and we have Judgment is related to Pluto, so I'm going to say Scorpio energy is present here as well. I'm just going to take a sip of water because I've been talking for a long time. Okay. So I'm going to start with this Ace of Wands, and I'm going to tell you why I'm so emotional about this card. As you guys may know, aces represent new beginnings, and we've definitely been speaking about that earlier in this reading. But for me, the Ace of Wands is such a vibrant, inspiring, and hopeful new beginning. And I often give this comparison. It's like if you were living in black and white and now you're living in color. You can feel the breeze, you can smell the sunshine, you can hear the birds sing. Everything feels like a fairy tale when that Ace of Wands new beginning hits. This is how it always comes through for me. I think a lot of you guys have been fatigued lately, if I'm being honest. Like your energy has felt kind of weighed down or lethargic. And I think that very soon you're going to get this spark in your physical energy again and feel motivated in the things that you want to do again. In terms of, I guess I haven't really spoken about specific careers just yet for you guys, but I will say that the Ace of Wands for me, it does indicate a connection with your higher self. And we've seen that you guys have the ability of connecting to higher realms. So if you did want to pursue something in the spiritual field, I think that you would be very good at that. I could also see you guys as business leaders, like the Ace of Wands and the Emperor next to each other. This makes me think of a leader, someone who is very creative, someone who is enterprising. The Emperor is also like a daddy. He's a boss. He's in charge. So when I put these together, it's like you guys could be a boss. You could be your own boss. You could be the boss of a team of employees. And maybe this sounds crazy to some of you guys right now, like you don't really resonate with that energy, but I feel like once you start to claim your uniqueness and your unconventionality more and more and start to feel really confident and empowered in it and see how it inspires others, this urge might come up for you guys to be a team leader. I could totally see you guys being like bosses, being the directors of a project, being producers. Like I could see you guys being top dogs for sure. The Ace of Wands energy is very, very creative, but creativity doesn't necessarily have to be talking about art. You could be creating art, you could be creating products, you could be creating a new service. that people need, a new technology, a new type of content. The Ace of Wands with Uranus as well, because like Uranus is all about innovation, technology, unconventionality, things that this world hasn't seen before. So, and Aries is the pioneer. Aries is the trailblazer. So it's like you guys are creating something that is kind of off the beaten path. Even getting kind of like startup energy, like you have this new idea that you want to bring into the world, and you know, you're gathering a group of people who believe in your vision. You are going to birth something new into the world, which is in alignment with your purpose. Like you're going to be some kind of pioneer or some kind of trailblazer. And okay. I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed with all of the energy here. I think that your divine team is really, really excited for you. And I think that you guys still have yet to really scratch the surface when it comes to the magnitude of what you're here to do on this earth. And I was getting that period earlier of like, the next 2 to 3 years are going to be significant for you guys. And I think that what it is, you are meant to found. Oh, found. Okay, that's the word that is coming to me. You guys are founding something, like founding an organization or founding a company, and bringing something completely new into the world. And what this is going to be, I think it's like over the next 2 to 3 years, it's going to slowly unfold. You're going to slowly start to see what it is. But the key here is to focus on what you're already drawn to, what you already like, and to ask yourself, like, what can I bring into this field? As an enjoyer of this field, what do I feel is kind of missing? What would I love? Like, I would love it if this kind of product existed. I would love it if this kind of service existed, if this type of content existed. And what you naturally like and what you're naturally drawn to, that will be the answer. And again, what naturally makes you weird. I feel like I've been using that word a lot. And I hope you guys don't take offense to that, because I don't mean it in a negative way. And honestly, it says a lot about our society that we think weird is a negative word. Like being not normal or off the beaten path is a bad thing, because it's totally not. It's like your biggest strength, and that's what's going to lead you towards this epiphany. The Ace of Wands, now that I think about it, is actually a card that can indicate like epiphanies and downloads, or this is how I see it very, very frequently. So maybe there is a reason that right now they're not like specifically telling you what you're going to be founding, what you're going to be bringing into the world, but it will come to you as an epiphany. Maybe it's going to come to you as some sort of prophetic dream, or when you're sitting in an energy healing session, like some blockage gets removed and something just gets like shifted, and all of a sudden the idea comes to you. But it feels like a very, very powerful revelation. And that's when all of a sudden this blurry world becomes clear and crisp and vivid. Like, that's it. That's what I'm here to do. That's why I have all of these eccentric qualities to me. I meant to use them to give birth to this thing into the world. Like, you're such a freaking boss. You see this, Emperor? You're such a freaking boss. You're going to be so inspiring to so many people. I just looked up. I was holding the 1 and the 4 together and I looked up and the camera said 4141. So if you see repeating 1s and 4s, that is totally your angels talking to you. So pay attention to them. Pay attention to what you are thinking about right before you saw those numbers, or where you are, or whom you're with, or whom you're thinking about when you see those numbers, because that's your angels literally putting up signs like, this is important, this is significant, please pay attention. And also just letting you know that you're incredibly protected and loved and watched over. So you're going to be like a mogul of some sorts. You're going to be a very influential figure of some sort. Now, moving on here to the 6 of Cups and Judgment. It's funny because both of these cards are making me think of like reincarnating over and over and over again until you get something right. This is like the message that's coming to me with these two together, because Six of Cups, it can talk about past life experiences, and Judgment is about like breaking free from old patterns, moving up, seeing the light, answering your call. There's something that you're accomplishing in this lifetime that you've been trying to for a very, very long time. Like over the course of many incarnations, like your soul has been trying to build up that confidence to go for it. I think that the dreams you have in this lifetime and the talents that you have in this lifetime have been following you around from lifetime to lifetime, just waiting to be expressed, waiting to be acted on. So like, for example, if you guys want to be a seamstress or a seamster or whatever the gender neutral term is of that, I don't know. You've wanted to be like, make clothing, like make this really innovative, cool clothing that the world has never seen before, and, you know, have people all over the world enjoying it. Then this dream, you had that dream in the last life and the life before that and the life before that. Of course, it might have changed based on the country and the period that you were from. Like maybe, you know, in your past life, it was like you really wanted to make kimonos for the rich people, or, you know, it could be a little bit different, but like the essence of it is the same. Like, you have wanted to make clothes for so many lifetimes, but it's like you haven't worked up the confidence to give that middle finger to the people who said that you can't. Like your family who said that you need to follow in our footsteps and be a lawyer, or to your classmates who said, did you make those clothes yourself? Why did you make it like that? Why did you put the pocket there? That looks so weird. Like, it's building up that confidence to say, yeah, it is weird. And I'm going to keep going with it. And one day you will see. One day you will see I'm going to be embraced. Not that that is what matters. What matters the most is that you like what you're doing. But I'm not going to sit here and act like external validation means nothing, because we're humans and we live off of that, literally. Also, I do feel called to say dates from these. We have 6 and 20 here, so June 20th might be an important date, or January 4th or April 1st. But yes, we were talking about these two cards. It's this feeling of, through your incarnations, trying this again and again and again, until you get it right. And I'm just looking at, aren't these kind of similar, these archways? And I got this eerie feeling of you guys walking the same streets and like seeing the same sights through your lifetimes. Like, for example, let's say you like lived in Paris, and it's like you walk by the Eiffel Tower every day. And then in your past life, you also walk by the Eiffel Tower every day. It's like the same soul is walking the same street, but in a different body, in a different period. And it just gave me this kind of eerie feeling. Like, ooh, reincarnation is so cool. So this could definitely be with regards, I think a lot of it is with regards to like your calling, your passion, your career. Oh my gosh. And I don't know if you guys could hear, but there's just a doorbell upstairs. So that's totally a confirmation. I think it has something to do with your career. It could also have to do with this soulmate, because like I said, 6 of Cups is a card that is very, very heavily indicative of soulmates, at least for me, someone with whom you feel very, very familiar. I feel like you guys are going to know this person energetically inside and out even before you meet them. But when it comes to your full-on 3D union, I think that's something that hasn't really fully happened in your past lives. I don't know if I feel so confident to say that it hasn't happened ever. Maybe for some of you it hasn't happened ever, but for others it's like it hasn't happened in a really, really long time. I actually just got the feeling some of you guys are like, you've already been in spiritual union and like you haven't incarnated together for a while, and you're like, you want to try going back down there together again and see what happens? That maybe just be like for 1 or 2 of you watching, but it's like you're trying to find each other, you're trying to get together, and maybe you just keep like missing each other. And I think some of you guys are just so used to this being an energetic thing that it's hard for your human self to see the possibility of this being a physical union, because like your soul is just used to that for so long, not being together physically, and it translates into your human self being like, maybe, oh, that person is out of my league, or oh, that person is too far away from me. And that's a memory of your soul too. Your soul's like, no, like we're not together like that. It's an energetic connection. But judgment is like your breakthrough. And I really see a possibility, a very strong possibility for physical union in this lifetime. 6 talks about unconditional love, harmony. 20 reduces to 2, which talks about partnerships. So yeah, it's pretty clear message, honestly. But I think the most important thing is that you believe that it is possible and you start feeling worthy of it. Not because you've done something to earn this love, not because like you're special enough or good enough to receive it, but because this is your literal inherent divine right to bring about the connections that you want, to manifest the connections and to receive the love. So, I think that this is everything I see from the tarot. So we're going to move on to the Universal Oracle cards. And this is a deck that was actually created by and sent to me by a subscriber. And I love this deck. So if you guys like it too and you would like to support the creator, it will be linked down below. Of course, all of the decks are linked down below. So let's see what other information. Ooh, we have cycle. So yes, you guys are breaking a cycle. You're breaking a cycle and you are starting a new one in this lifetime. Repetition, patterns, phases. So again, it's like repeating that same pattern, trying to have a breakthrough, trying to move towards your dream, move towards your union again and again. And it's like you're finally waking up. You're finally feeling empowered to go after it. And we also have, oh my gosh, commitments, dedication, loyalty, devotion. So totally resonates with the soulmate message, like a committed soulmate, a soulmate union. But I also think this is about you guys committing to your dreams. And it goes back to this intentionality thing that we were talking about before. Like sit with your dreams long enough to entertain them as an actual possibility for you. And don't just let them run away. I think it's easy to feel like not having our dreams is something that happened to us. Like when we're just like, oh, I'm not gonna experience that in this lifetime. I'm not gonna obtain that in this lifetime because that's just the way the pieces have fallen. But I think your guides are asking you to question that and to actually commit to your dreams and even ask yourself, if I were committed to my dreams, what would I do? Let's say for some reason you feel like it's too late to move towards your dream. Maybe you feel like you've passed the age where you can go for it. If you ask yourself in that moment, what would someone who is committed to their dreams do? They would probably say, screw it. I don't care how old I am. I don't care what happened in the past because I have a ring on my finger and I am married to my dream. And I vow that for better or for worse, I will move towards it. And yes, that takes a shit ton of confidence, but that is what you are going to learn in this lifetime. When you love something, you commit to it. You go for it. You give it everything that you've got. And I'm getting like heated and I'm getting passionate because it's like you guys are just on the brink of all of these amazing adventures and all of these amazing blessings. But it's like you just need to believe that you can have it and you need to embrace the blessings. Whew. Okay, so the next oracle deck we're going to use is the Creative's Compass. Again, this was created by and sent to me by a subscriber, so if you like this one and you want to support the creator, that will be linked down below as well. I've been really enjoying using these. Okay, so, oh, we have 2 coming out together, so I'm going to keep these together. We have, oh, Judgment. Judgment. Never feeling good enough thwarts progress. No one starts out complete. We all need to warm up before we take to the stage. And then we have Unfurling. Discovery, authenticity, rawness. Vulnerability is a cure for many ills. Wow. These are so powerful when they come out together. And they're giving me this feeling of it's this feeling that I think is present in you guys of like, I need to be more this or that before I start. I need to be better at this. I need to have healed this more. It's like creating all of these conditions before you're allowed to move forward, before you're allowed to pursue your dream. It's like if you're dreaming of being a singer and you say, I need to become better at singing before I can start pursuing this. And it's like, okay, but how do you become better at singing? You become better at singing by singing. And this is a theme that I see a lot in my readings because I think a lot of us to some extent think like this. It's like we want to already be perfect before we even start. We don't want to go through that process of stumbling, of making mistakes, because we put too much pressure on ourselves. That's really what it all comes down to. We put way too much pressure that we're not allowed to mess up. We're not allowed to be human. If we're not good enough at it, then we don't deserve to be doing this. Like in the example of the singer, somebody might say, oh my gosh, I suck at singing. This person is way better than me. I don't deserve to even like take up space in the singing industry. We want to prove, again, it's like we want to prove that we're worthy. And we've been taught that in order to be worthy, we have to be perfect. We have to be spotless. And this is just not the case. You could be the shittiest singer in the world. And if it's what you love to do, you still deserve to do it. And like, you don't have to earn your worthiness to do what you love. So, with that in mind, we have this card that talks about vulnerability. And I think it goes really well with this judgment energy because it's stepping forward and saying like, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at this, but I want to try. And I think that people will really admire that authenticity. And I think that's something that this world really needs. That's something that will be really, really refreshing. We don't need to see more perfectly polished, frankly, fake representations of humans. We need to see humans who struggle. We need to see humans who fall down and get back up. We need to see humans who are insecure, because that's who we all are. It doesn't do the world any favors to come forward all completely perfect and only showing off your best side. It just further perpetuates this illusion that we have to be perfect in order to be successful. So this is about letting that vulnerability shine through. And not judging yourself either. It's practice makes perfect, not you have to be perfect before you're allowed to practice. And I'm thinking of the Fool energy here as well, like getting back into that beginner mindset and being okay with stumbling. That's going to be really important for you guys. Okay, we also have catharsis. Oh, there's another group. I think group 3 got this as well. Not always the point, but often an outcome. I totally think as you guys start to move towards your dreams, it is going to feel incredibly cathartic. It is going to feel like you're resolving the issues from your childhood or from your past. It is going to feel like you're finally letting go of that voice that judges you and criticizes you so harshly. It's going to feel so liberating. And I think that catharsis is a big purpose of this incarnation, because this feeling that wants to be released, it's been building up for many, many lifetimes until now. You're like releasing the weight of so many lifetimes where your creativity has been stifled or where low confidence has gotten in the way. And again, I think energy work, energy healing could provide a huge release for you guys. This is something that you might even want to consider like going to regularly throughout this lifetime. So we're going to finish off now with the Starseed Oracle deck and get your final messages. Free spirit. To be a free spirit is to float without walls, to fly without judgment. Okay. Okay, spirit guides, we get it. And to love without conditions. I'm going to put this here. observation. Expand your consciousness by observing the divine matrix of life. I love how it's called divine matrix. It's like looking at the world and seeing it for all of the illusions that are present within it. Closing your physical eyes and looking at this world with your third eye, because a lot of this is about remembering who you are and remembering what you came here to do. And anything that has held you back or anything that has made you feel like you couldn't, at the end of the day, it is just an illusion. It's like you're breaking beyond the matrix, or I don't know how to say it. You're moving past the matrix and you're seeing this world and you're seeing this incarnation of you for what it really is. And that is unstoppable, and that is worthy, and that is amazing. And then finally we have surrender. Surrender your need to control the outcome. Just be with life in this present moment. I want to say to you guys, I wish that I could give this group a hug. I really, really do. And I just hope that you guys don't feel pressure when it comes to discovering this calling, when it comes to moving towards your dreams, because I think that it's already in you. All you need to do, like if you don't know which steps to take right now, if you don't know what actions to take right now, that's okay. You can take all of the time that you need. I think the biggest thing to focus on is this. Like, this is the most important card for me in this reading, that just asks you to embrace feeling good, because your spiritual team is already working with you to bring you your happiness, to bring you the opportunities to move towards your dreams. And all you need to do is just accept that happiness. I don't see you guys so much needing to like go out of your way to find this calling. Again, it's all about just diving deeper into what you already love and feeling worthy in that space. And the rest will come to you naturally. And it will come to you when the time is right. I don't see the need, and honestly, I might go so far to say I never see the need for forced action when it comes to finding our calling. If we just let go and do what comes to us naturally and embrace happiness in every moment, we will find our calling. So there will be action that is required on your part, but it will be inspired action. If you don't know what to do right now, it's okay. And I hope that you don't feel pressure. And I would even say, like, you can take baby steps towards this. Just like, today I'm going to do one thing that I enjoy. Today I'm going to visualize an exciting day in my future for 5 minutes, and I'm not gonna let my ego tell me any bullshit about it being dumb or not possible. I'm just gonna let myself enjoy it. Today I'm gonna listen to my favorite music. Like, just allowing yourself to be happy and to be inspired by the things you enjoy, and to fantasize about how you could contribute to it. If that's all you can do right now, that is an amazing step. And the actions to take and the motivation to take them will follow. The more you just allow yourself to enjoy things and allow yourself to be happy without judging what makes you happy or judging what you choose to dream about and what you choose to believe. That is your first step, which doesn't require any like forced action or going out of your way at all. Just coming back home. So these are all the messages I see for you guys, so I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, sending your spiritual team lots of love, sending your soulmate lots of love. Hi, I hope you're doing well. And I just looked up and there's a lot of 1s and 4s all over the timer. Yeah. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.